You're listening to a Pave Media show.
Visit pavemedia.net for more podcasts and video entertainment.
Hello and scree-onk, and welcome to the Fake Nerd Podcast. I'm Brandon T. McClure. With me, as always,
Hell yeah,
is Sparks Witty.
Hi.
Ben Magnet.
I'm back.
Back up, Ben Magnet.
Thank you for
I forget
coming
you
back.
were gone. I keep forgetting you were gone last
Yeah,
week.
you
Not
did.
as a slight to you, but
You
I
did.
forget it was last
Oh
week.
no, I was listening because I listened to the episode. Well, half,
It took us 30 minutes
I listened
to
to
realize.
half the episode because I stopped at the John Wick review because I didn't
Hold
want it to be
on.
spoiled.
Nice.
And you son of a bitch, were like, "Oh yeah, we forgot Ben's not
It's
here."
not only his fault because we also forgot.
Yeah.
It's all our fault.
Oh. we
all forgot.
Oh,
And Ryan James Eliopoulos.
It's me. Get the James out of it.
it's great to know that I am loved and appreciated by my friends.
What it honestly is we spend a bunch of time talking to each other that day, and you kind of forget that, like, oh, we need to acknowledge that there's a person not in the room
Yeah.
because we've been well aware of it for hours.
Speaking of people not in the room, we
Uh-huh.
have two people in the room that
Oh
are
my
normally
gosh.
not here.
In the room where it happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to introduce these people for us, Sparks?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I'm speechless now.
Who are you people? What are you doing in my house?
We've got friends and listeners. Marty.
Speak into the mic, Marty.
Hi. Yeah.
There you go.
and Sam.
Hi.
What up, guys?
They're old friends of ours, Sparks
Yes.
and I.
Yes.
We've known them for years.
Correct.
Hi, guys. Welcome to the Fake Nerd Podcast.
Thank you for having us. This is fantastic.
Yay!
Thanks for being here, bud.
That's a taste of Marty for you. All right, so how was your guys' week? We'll go around the horn. Sparks, how was
The Matterhorn.
Never mind. Sparks is busy doing something. Ben,
my
how's
my
your
headphones
week?
got caught on my mic cable.
Oh, okay.
Ben, how was your 2 weeks?
Well, as you guys know, last week was my friend, kind of like my sister's graduation. She graduated from mine and Brandon's alma mater, Cal State Northridge.
Yeah.
So I went to
Still the best thing that's ever happened to me is graduating college.
Yeah,
I'm sure I'll peak somewhere eventually.
eventually. But I saw her graduate, so it was really cool seeing her walk across the same stage that Brandon and I walked across 5 years ago. Dude, can you believe it was 5 years?
Starfleet Academy. Yeah.
I wish if only it really was Starfleet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't get that, Starfleet Academy was the Oviatt Library at our school.
Yeah.
It's our library.
in
that used
Star
it.
Trek 2000.
And hey, man, yeah, it was the Starfleet Academy the year that Into Darkness came out, so good for you. That's when you were there.
Shut.
Yeah, we're not going to go in there. So
You're
Don't
just
sully
breaking me today.
sully
You're
that
like
college's
slowly
name.
breaking me today.
he's slowly injecting salt into you, Brandon.
Okay, Ben.
Yeah,
Continue.
It was
Nasty
it was
salt.
really nice. So this work was work. It sucks as always, but I have to say this past weekend, huge shout out to the Downright Nerdy podcast. Holy crap!
Oh yeah, I was gonna do the same.
Yeah, so I won. They had a giveaway, and I won a Daenerys Targaryen poster. It's in my room right now.
It is beautiful.
It is a really cool poster. Back when she's in her old Khaleesi uniform and the 3 dragons are on her side, it's really nice. And not only did they send me the poster, they went the extra mile and they sent me
Amelia Clark.
No,
Amelia, get on the podcast.
she just waltzed.
Please
right out.
welcome Amelia Clark.
Sorry about that.
I wish. No, they send me 3 keychains, Infinity Gauntlet with the stones in it, a Thor's hammer one, which I have on my keys right now, and a really cool Cap shield, a Hand of the Kingpin, which my girlfriend Fanny just claimed for her. She probably has it at her badge at work on her badge at work right now.
That's what girls do. They
Yeah.
always just claim your
Yeah,
stuff.
they always claim my shit. And then
Is that true, Sam?
No, it is not true.
damn it. And then
Wow. We're all so sexist. Proven in this moment. Go ahead, Ben.
no, and they also wrote me this because when they told me that they won, I wrote this like very long like I've been Nightborn of House Magnet, World of D20s, blah 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 blah. They copied that word for word and wrote it a really nice thank you note. It was all up on my Instagram story. And just huge shout out to them. They did not have to go that extra mile of giving me more stuff than the thing I thought I won. So huge shout out to Downright Nerdy. They're
We're the
awesome.
Fake Nerd Podcast
Yeah, we
now.
are the Fake Nerd Podcast. I don't know why I almost said us. That
While
would've been
you-
We're
very
awesome.
narciss-
That's why.
While
That
you-
would have been very narcissistic of me.
Ben, while you brought that up, it's a good chance for me to also give them a shout out. A little while ago, we got a notification that someone had bought 2 T-shirts from our merchandise store, and I had no idea who it was. There was nobody in this room,
Yep.
surprisingly. So I was like,
I already bought my T-shirt. I'm good.
Yeah.
so I was like, who the hell could this have been? It was the Downright Nerdy Podcast.
Yeah, and they went live on Instagram today, and they were Michael was is it Michael?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Michael was wearing our shirt.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
so huge
So
thank you
holy
to them.
crap.
Thank you for the support to the Downright Nerdy Podcast.
You guys
Yeah.
are great.
You guys are really
Really
great.
appreciate
Yeah.
you.
As Ryan described them, right?
Class acts.
Class act.
Class
Except there was
act.
an other word. That's
There was an
our
F word before
There-
class act.
You know what? They are
class acts.
classy AF.
Did you say a fruitin' class act?
Frackin'.
Oh, frackin'. There you go. BSG.
Also fruitin'.
Yeah,
BSG.
they're really great.
I'm-
Michael and I were messaging around this stuff and talking about, we got to figure out a collaboration. I actually have an idea, and
All right.
I'll talk about
I
it
also
with
have
him
an
later.
idea.
But
So
I have to
we
because
should-
I know
we should
they're
workshop that.
I know they're based up in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
But if they ever Michael and Riley, if you ever find yourselves in the Southern California area, hit us up and we'll work something out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we tend to put all of our friends on the show when they're in the LA area.
Whenever we could, really. And you can bet your butt if
Right,
I'm ever-
Marty? Right, Sam?
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
And you can bet your butts that if I'm ever back up north in the Bay Area, I'm going to be calling up. It's like, hey, I don't want to sound presumptuous, but I'm in the Bay Area, so wink, wink, nudge,
Just
nudge.
Podcast?
I could just see Ben. Hey, I'm outside your studio.
Yeah.
I'm outside your mom's basement. Let me in.
How'd you find us?
I have reasons to be in San Francisco from time to time, so if that ever happens.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
So, anything else you wanted to bring up? Or should
I pulled a Brandon. I saw
Oh, no.
3 movies in a week.
you saw
did.
2
You
movies
did.
yesterday.
One
I
of them
did.
one you've already seen, but yes.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah, one of them I did. Fanny, she will really want to see Endgame again. We haven't been able to see it, so yesterday she's like, let's go see Endgame. I'm like, cool, but we also have to see Aladdin. She's like, yeah, we'll go see Endgame. We'll have dinner, then we'll go see Aladdin.
Double feature.
So I was
We pulled the same
Hold
thing
on
years
to
ago.
that lady.
yeah, she's not going anywhere.
Oh, no.
Not like that. Shut up.
Do you hear that, Amelia?
No, so I've done.
Hey, I'm Amelia.
Oh, don't
put her on
that
the-
hill.
not the hill.
Not the hill.
She's been through enough this week.
Yes, she has.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I've done double features like that before, where I've taken a break, gotten food, and then seen again, but not after a
Yes,
3-hour.
Dragon Ball, Battle of the Gods, and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Same day.
Your mother
That's
ever?
a good double feature.
That is a combo.
Yeah,
it
but
is.
we went and saw
With TGIF right in the middle.
We did, and we went and saw Endgame. I gotta say that movie's still great.
Yeah.
It was my 4th time seeing it, her 2nd time, and that movie's still just kick ass.
Man.
I mean, in my theater, it was a nice, good turnout, decent sized turnout. Not a lot of cheers. A lot of people were laughing, but
Like a month later, almost too.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I have to say, people, turn
2.6
off your effing phones.
$2.6
Seriously.
billion dollars. Yes, absolutely. As you know, I am. Yeah.
No, there's a guy in the front. There's a dude in the front row of my theater who had his phone on, and there's a lady who sat in front of me who like nicely said, "Turn off your phone" during a soft scene. And then after a scene happened, he still was on his phone. She yells out, "Turn off your phone!" Turned it off.
Good. Those people need to be put.
Yeah, everyone who takes out their phone should go to hell.
Marty, you manage a movie theater.
Oh,
yeah, Marty, you
how
do.
Many complaints
in the mic, Marty?
do you get about people with their phones on?
Every once in a while.
Yeah.
Every once in a while.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't happen too often.
That's good.
Respect.
Yeah.
Marty, I have a complaint. When I was in your movie theater
Dang.
watching Creed 2, there were multiple people behind me who
I don't
were,
even think he worked there. At
Actually,
that
he
point
did. My
in
mom
time.
talked to him.
Oh, okay.
Lord.
I'm very sorry about that.
You should go tell a manager.
Ryan, why don't we go?
Oh man.
Week was good. Week was good.
Week was good. Ryan,
Most of
video.
my week was tied to Sparks. So anything I talked
What
about.
did we do?
What didn't we do this week, my man?
Guys, I'm waiting for you guys to talk about the one thing.
We finished Titans.
We did finish Titans.
That
guys.
happened. We
That's-
finished Titans.
We'll get there.
There's another thing I wanted you guys
We'll
to
get
talk
there.
about.
We saw Long Shot.
Long Shot was really good.
We really liked it.
Yeah. Oh, I know
Long
what you
Shot.
want us to. You know what we did? We recorded a new Basement Arcade special. That's what we did.
Oh yeah, we did.
That'll-
We did do that.
That'll
We
be
did,
probably
yeah.
coming out sometime next week.
We're gonna get Brandon aneurysm with this.
Oh, we also went to
Wait,
Star Wars
one-
Land.
Hey, Long Shot was real good though.
Thank you. I wanted to ask that
Long
question.
Shot was good.
Yeah, Long Shot's real good. So, yeah, Galaxy's Edge. You guys went to Galaxy's Edge.
We did.
Yes.
Yeah.
For reasons we were able to go to an early preview of Galaxy's Edge.
How was it? How was it?
It's real cool.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you like Star Wars,
Were you able to do a ride?
Yeah,
Twice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it good?
It's great.
Yes.
There are positions in the ride, and if you get the weakest position multiple times, it kind of
Which we did.
deters from the ride because you don't get to like do other things. But that's probably a problem
there
for the
are-
future.
there are
It's an
two-
interactive ride.
Yes, there
Yes.
are 2 pilot positions, 2 gunner positions, and 2 engineer positions.
That sounds awesome.
Ooh.
It is.
And your specific job can affect how well the mission goes.
Wow.
So, like, if one person's not doing so well, it shows, and all that. And so there's there are variations according to how well you're performing.
The piloting is the hardest one, and then probably the gunner, and then engineer's the easiest. And we got engineer
Yeah,
twice.
'cause, like, that
which
second
is just
time-
pressing buttons.
Because that second time we didn't even get stuck in the meteor field on the
No.
way back
We had better pilots.
because we had better pilots.
The first pilot, she was like 70. No offense.
yeah.
Can you call people out? Like,
I mean that you could, but you're a jerk.
Yeah.
She
was
Hey,
like, "I'm doing the
engineer,
best I
get your
can."
shit together.
Hey,
Yeah,
pilot,
they're-
stop sucking.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just trying to help everyone through it, honestly, and you're having a good time. Even if you're doing a bad job, you're still having fun.
It's still really cool.
You know what's
so like when we go together, can we like call each other out?
We
Oh,
can,
yeah,
yes.
Sure,
We
as a-
can't, 'cause
as a
we
group
know
of friends, but
everyone.
we were with 4 strangers
Yeah.
both times we did it, and it's like I'm not gonna like shout at them for being bad at this.
Yeah.
You know what this sounds
so
like?
you're not supposed to yell at people when they do bad things.
No.
In terms of Star Wars entertainment, though.
Competition things.
Yeah.
Hey, people get yelled at for Star Wars and
well,
We're
that's
all in
not-
this
it's-
together.
You're all on the ship together,
Yeah,
so
but
you're not
like you wanna
competing with
win,
each
right?
other.
Like you want to not die.
Yeah, but you don't want to be shouting at people, being like pilot better. It's not gonna help.
Also, like, no one knows how to fly a Millennium Falcon for reals.
I
Your
do.
first time. Well, Brandon, you got to go to Star Wars Land then.
Okay,
You'll
well.
be perfect.
You should have taken me.
Yeah,
Sorry.
go get a perfect score, bud. I'd like to see it.
Oh, calling you out.
Yo, man, that
Challenge.
what's his name? Hondo?
Yeah,
Hondo Asaka?
yeah.
That
Oh,
dude
yeah.
is
Hondo
like
from the Clone
From the
Wars
Clone
show
Wars.
and
best
everything.
animatronic.
So he's the guy
ever.
who recruits you for the mission,
Rad.
and he's an animatronic.
What's he
and
doing with
he's-
the Millennium Falcon?
He's the second most sophisticated animatronic that Disney's ever built.
It almost
The only
looks like a
one-
real person.
The only one is one at the Avatar thing
Yeah.
in Walt Disney World is more complex.
That's awesome.
Oh, the one ride it didn't go on at
the
Walt
only
Disney World.
the only thing is like if his lips moved a little more fluid when he speaks, I would think he was real.
Yeah. He looks
Like
really
everything
good.
about him flows so well.
And he's a Dave Filoni creation, right?
yes,
He's the Clone Wars and Rebels. He was on
Yes.
that. Yeah. Yeah, that's insane.
The cantina, which is what I really wanted to see. It's a Star
had
Wars
the
bar.
longest line.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
And there's a 45-minute cap. So you have to
Yes.
drink your drinks, a 2-drink minimum, and then leave.
And the way that it's monitored is it's not just that like everyone was like, oh, how does alcohol work in Disneyland? You can't leave the cantina with your drinks.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So your alcohol stays
So you,
in the
you
cantina.
gas up, and then you leave, and then you just come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As
I think,
Ryan
Wow.
does.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If there's not a 2-hour line.
We tried the blue milk. Blue milk was tasty.
It was good.
Was it?
All
Yeah,
right.
that's good.
A lot of juicy alcoholic drinks.
There's a lot
What
of
about
cool
the green milk from Rogue One?
I did not try that.
No.
A
a lot of awesome merch.
some things kept for later. Yeah, lightsabers, custom droids that you can have built.
The lightsabers. I'm
You-
very curious about these new lightsabers, right?
Yes.
They look really good, but they're really expensive.
What you're really buying more than anything is like these not very cheap material hilts. The hilts are very
Ooh.
cool. The hilts are very cool. We saw one person who had like a Rancor tooth at the end of theirs.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, it's very cool. Like it's very cool, but it's
So
very
it's
expensive.
basically what you could do outside of Star Tours, but brought to 1 million.
Yes.
Yes. And the droid assembly line, you're building a droid that's about 2 feet tall,
It's
Whoa!
maybe
What?
a foot and a half.
it's
Seriously?
Like, it's like this big. It's
you
pretty big.
You could buy
Yeah.
that?
You
Yeah.
make it.
You make
Whoa.
it. There's an assembly line, and you grab the pieces and you put it together, and you give it a
It
personality
is that
chip.
thing from Star Tours,
And-
but a $100 version of it.
And they're Bluetooth linked to the land, so they'll based on their
What?
personality chip. So let's say you put a resistance chip inside them. When they go to a first order area, they'll respond to the area in like panic.
Like in Harry Potter Land with wands. Yeah, it's really
so it's
cool
like
stuff.
Build-A-Bear for a droid.
Yes,
Yes.
100% that.
I
It's
want
awesome.
this.
And you can do BB-8s, you can do R2s. Like they're awesome. They're
Just
really
take
cool.
my money, Galaxy's Edge.
It's a lot of
Shit.
money, but it's cool.
we explored the whole marketplace.
save up.
There's a lot of cool stuff to buy in all the shops. There's a lot of cool stuff. There's a lot of really neat details. They have drinking water fountains set up. And for the first time in any of the lands, they also, in between every drinking fountain, is a little spout for water bottles.
I've never
Which
seen
is
that
really
before.
cool. And one
Some
of them,
gyms have it.
so one
Cool.
example was there was a drinking fountain outside of a restroom, and Ryan went in. And while I was sitting out there, you can see one of the water tanks behind the drinking fountain. That's like the water that's coming from it, and the little eyeball creature from A New Hope pops up out
the
of it
trash
and looks
compactor.
around and blinks at you,
That's cool.
and makes sound and gurgles and goes back down.
Oh man! I
So
can't
there's a
wait to
lot
go.
of fine details to
Oh.
it.
And what's really nice is we went in like a reserved area, like a reserved group, so it wasn't super crowded. I do think when it officially opens, it's going to be insane.
I think they're still going to do some kind of like separate management.
They're going to have to for a
They're
while.
they're going to have
Yeah.
to for a while of
'Cause the
like how
land's
many
not-
people can go in there because they just can't have like that just
The
a
land's
sea of
big,
people.
but it's honestly not as big as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
It is definitely like a bigger space, but like it's not going to fit that many people.
No, I mean it's large.
Yeah.
It's a large land. It's the largest.
But like
land.
I'm imagining like 1,000 people all going.
It's the
at
largest
once.
single land Disneyland's ever had.
Yeah.
So
It's super cool, man. And as someone who likes Star Wars, like it's
Chewbacca walks
really,
around.
it gives you hugs.
And he has gray in his fur, so he's old Chewbacca.
Oh, that's cool.
It's a different
First
looking
Order
Chewbacca.
troopers are harassing you all the
Oh
time.
yeah, they harass you all the time.
That's nice.
Yeah, man.
When Kylo Ren comes out to walk the streets, he comes out of his ship,
Oh, really?
Oh, cool.
and it's like on this stage area, and they patrol him through, and then he goes back into the ship when he disappears.
Oh, that's so cool. I can't wait to go.
Yeah, man.
Man,
It's radical.
I'm gonna be so happy when I go there.
Yeah.
Man, I should have waited for you guys last because now anything that happens after this
No.
would suck.
Well, actually, I do want to talk about Titans a little bit.
Yeah.
I think Titans ended pretty strong. I think I went very strong.
Yeah.
The final episode, despite it being like a weird dream sequence kind of thing.
That was, it was not where I expected
Yes,
the last episode to be.
But it, like, I don't want to spoil the end of season 1, but we know Batman is cast for season 2.
Yeah.
So I'll just say there was some cool stuff with that.
I know what happened.
Do you guys know who
at the end.
Batman is, Marty and Sam?
Is that Robert Pattinson?
In the
No, that's in
Okay.
in the DC Universe show. Do you know who it is?
No.
It is
It's-
Robert Pattinson.
It's Jorah Mormont
oh yeah,
from Game of Thrones.
He-
Yes,
oh, I see what you're doing,
yes, okay.
yeah. So he just got
Much
cast.
better than the other guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it ended really strong, and the post-credit scene, which I didn't know there was one. I'm really
Well,
excited.
we did. We actually heard about it a long time ago
Oh.
because we talked about it on this podcast,
But I
but
didn't
you and
watch
I
it.
both forgot.
Yeah. It
Was the
post-credit
Superboy
scene.
crypto
Superboy.
tease.
And I was like, oh my god, crypto's here! I'm so excited. That show, I'm really excited for the future of that show.
Yeah, that was real fun.
That's cool.
I really need to watch that show now.
I finished all the CW shows.
Yes,
Those
you
are
did.
done.
You're all caught up.
nice.
That was the other thing I was trying to think of. Like, what did I do this week that I was going to talk about?
I'm guessing
Uh,
Supergirl good,
Yep.
Legends good,
Yeah.
Flash.
Arrow not.
Flash better now that sorry, I know you said Arrow, but Flash better now that the season ended and kind of put like a perspective on the whole season's plot up to that point. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I like this a little more.
I assume there's a because
I heard Flash ended
Okay,
well.
so here's the thing, and I told Ryan a little bit about this, and I'm not going to expand on it too long, but here's the thing. All of the shows end in a way where they are specifically setting up events both solitary to that show's plot, what will happen next season, that are also part of the crisis.
Okay,
Yes,
The
I heard
crisis
about
is
this.
already
that's what I heard.
taking effect. And in a way, Arrow ended.
Really?
I don't know how to tell you this without being too spoilery, so I'm 'cause
I'm
not
watching
going
it.
to spoil it, but here's the thing. Arrow very much like in a kind of rushed way that I didn't appreciate. It's over. And whatever the last 10 episodes are, they have to be almost entirely dedicated to the crisis. Because Arrow as the show that it was, that's done. That is clearly done.
Oh,
It will not be that show when it comes back.
all right.
There's no way it can be. Supergirl has a similar effect, but not as hard as Arrow. And then Flash is going through some changes in Legends as well.
Yeah. It's interesting.
It's going to be nuts.
All right.
It's going to be a nuts lead up to that event.
Yeah.
They're going big. They're going hard.
I'm gonna try and catch up so I can. So when we do the inevitable crossover episode that we're gonna do, I want to try and be caught up. Good luck.
Good luck.
Good
Good
Yeah.
luck, me.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Marty and Sam, you guys have anything you wanted to bring up? Just looking at each other inquisitively.
You guys went to a cool thing. I thought it was cool. It involved times.
Oh, yeah. We went to medieval times.
Yeah.
So,
Have you guys ever been before?
yeah, we went like 5 years ago, pre-kids, and now we got to go again, and it was a lot of fun. Our night didn't win, which was kind of a bummer because we were definitely the best cheerers.
Yeah, we cheered for him pretty well. He was our champion through and through. I feel really bad that he's gone, but I still love you. Red and yellow. Yay!
That's great.
Those are our high school colors.
They are.
Oh wow.
Oh, go Breakers.
Oh,
Breakers?
that's what we were. We were the Breakers.
We were the PG Breakers.
The break of the
like
wave.
like waves, where waves break.
Was your mascot?
A
Marty was a
Was
wave.
it a
bucket of
wave?
water?
He was a wave.
It was a wave,
Yeah.
and it was Marty.
That's
Yeah.
awesome, Marty.
Billy the Breaker.
Billy
Billy
okay.
the Breaker.
Man.
You could actually go online sometimes and find like lamest mascots, and it pops up.
Oh no!
All this PG talk. Did I tell you about the weird connection between us and Michael Carls from Downright Nerdy?
No.
His parents live in Pacific Grove.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is.
That's our hometown.
Yeah.
Well, my hometown. You grew up there.
I did.
Well, in the later years.
Half of my life.
Okay, so I guess I will go. I've already did the downright nerdy shout out. I wanted a quick shout out to Fansplaining. It's a podcast that I listen to every now and then. I don't listen to it quite religiously, but I am very negative on fandom in general on the show, as we all know.
Or Twitter.
Just in general. Fansplaining is a podcast about fandom and diving into fandom and really like getting into the dark and gritty of fandom and all sorts of things that fandom entails. They throw out. Okay,
You right?
they throw out tons of terms I don't even understand because they're like into it. It's like slash fiction. They got tumblers. I don't know.
You know what slash fiction is?
No, I do. But
okay.
I'm still like saying like there are things that they talk about. They were like. Oh, this is the last episode. They were like, "Yeah, I'm mostly a het ship," and I'm like, "What the hell does that mean?" And it means heteronormative shipper, which I did not know. So I want to just shout out to them, that basically to say that if you want to understand fandom, it's not a bad way to find out, like how you feel about it in general as a culture, as a thing. I've been enjoying listening to them. Because it just kind of helps me work through my feelings about fandom, and I just wanted to give them a little bit of a shout out there.
Okay.
Right on.
Nice.
I'm out caught up on the Infinity podcast.
Nice. Me as well.
And Patrick Willems talked about how great Jonathan Hickman was and how Secret Wars is the best comic event of the last decade. I agree with that guy. He's super smart.
Comic event of the century.
Century. That's even better. I love you.
Oh, speaking of Jonathan Hickman, I was at Things from Another World, which is the comic book store over at City Walk. And one of the guys there saw my Son of Cole shirt, because I have a Coulson shirt, and he was like, "Yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is doing Convergence. Oh, not Convergence. That's the DC
That's
shitty
the DC
event.
one.
Secret Wars.
The Secret Wars event. So I guess they are.
It is.
doing
It
that.
is a convergence. That is the right term for it.
Yeah.
That's what I speculated. That's what I figured.
Yeah, I guess that's what's happening.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I have not seen it yet, so I can't say for sure, but that's what he said. Speaking
Sweet.
of Things from Another World, I stopped my girlfriend mid-walk going late to a movie to pick up a Godzilla NECA figure because I've been looking for the Godzilla 2019 NECA figures, and I saw it in the window. I'm like, holy shit, I need this.
Yeah.
This is true. He told me about it when I saw him on Saturday.
Still
real
in my
quick.
car.
They're for the new movie. The figures are out.
Yeah, the new
Yeah.
figures.
The NECA figures specifically. All speaking of Godzilla, the Godzilla soundtrack dropped, and it's one of the best things I've ever heard. I love the Godzilla soundtrack. I think this might be one of Bear McCreary's greatest soundtracks.
I listened to some of it, but I actually don't want to hear. I don't like listening to a lot of soundtracks
I don't
before I see
either.
the movie, and then I'll listen to it.
Sure.
But like, I'd rather hear it fresh in the moment that it's intended.
Sure, I get sometimes I don't really care about that sort of thing. But in this case, I just kind of put it on, and it's really independently, like away from the movie. I think it is a good soundtrack.
I'm sure it will be.
I think hopefully paired with the movie. Like I said before, like I posted this on Twitter. I'm hoping that the movie is half as good as the soundtrack because I'm trying to temper my expectations. Like I like the soundtrack a lot.
Yeah, you've been hype.
I am
Yeah.
very hype about this film. I like the soundtrack a lot, but I'm trying to remember this is the soundtrack I like,
Right.
not the movie.
I listened to only the Godzilla theme,
Which is rad.
which was really good. But
Yeah.
I was like, I don't mind listening to this because I know most of it anyway.
Mothra's theme is in it. It's awesome.
Yeah, I don't want to hear anything else till I see that movie.
Same.
So speaking of that, I did see a couple movies. I saw A Dog's Journey, which made
you cry.
Made me cry real bad. Lots of death in that movie.
I love emotional manipulation.
A lot of emotional manipulation. Like afterwards, I was like, I need to call my dad. I need to hug my dogs because goddamn. Dennis Quaid's great though.
Yeah.
He's like legit great. And then I saw Tolkien.
Is it as bad as everyone says?
No, I wouldn't say I really enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. Zara thought it was the best movie she's seen this year. But she also liked Ugly Dolls.
Hey man, opinions are opinions.
So but I'm trying to kind of work through my feelings. It's very poetic. It's more kind of about the poetry of Tolkien's life and less so about his life.
So it's a shitty biopic.
No, it's because a shitty biopic would be about his life.
Rhapsody. Sorry, what?
No, it would be about his life. We're going through the points of his life, but it's not about that. It's more about the poetry that shapes his life and his
That's weird.
his experiences. You think about like George Lucas' Star Wars saga is like all about circular motion and poetry and all that sort of thing. That's how they approach Tolkien. This kind of like, this happened here and that related to a moment.
Look at
here
this. Look at how this can be metaphor for the thing he made.
Yeah. But they
Explosion, Balrog.
But they really take away. They really take away the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings. Like they approach it only in the war because that ends in World War I. They only approach that in the war. But for most of the movie, they don't even acknowledge it's a book that he will write, which I thought was interesting.
Better or worse than Finding Neverland?
I never saw Finding Neverland.
Do you not like that movie?
No, I like Finding Neverland.
Yeah, I like that movie too.
That's why I want to kind of gauge, because I think it looked very similar to the attack on Finding Neverland.
Okay.
I would, judging from what I know about Finding Neverland, I probably wouldn't say it's as good. But
all right,
it's got good performances. I wouldn't say it's bad. It's a fine movie. It's good. I right now I'm kind of like 50%. It's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah. And then I have a funny little anecdote about going to the movies. There's an actress who I'm starting to really enjoy. She's a really up and coming actress from The Last Man Standing, which was Tim Allen's sitcom. She's the youngest daughter on that show. She's currently in the movie Booksmart, out this week, which I did not get to see because I had to see Aladdin and Brightburn. But she was also in a movie called Frontrunner with Hugh Jackman.
Justified season 2.
Justified season 2. And so she's really making a name for herself and really kind of up and coming. And so I was at the movie theater going to see Brightburn. It's like 11 o'clock showing, it's the latest we can go. And we're waiting for our food, and she just walks by me, and she's in her PJs with her friends going to see Booksmart. I thought that was really cute. So it's like a foot away from her.
Hey,
I thought that was really cool. Yeah. That's all I got. Should we move on?
Marty, Sam, anything else to add about your weeks, your nonsense, your what have yous?
It's
We call
really
this
nice
segment-
to be away from kids.
Yeah.
Super fantastic.
Marty and Sam are parents.
Yes.
And
How old?
To the same kids.
Yes.
How old?
2 and 4.
Yeah, it's good to be away from him.
Yes.
I miss them. Especially after seeing Brightburn.
We will get into that.
Oh boy.
all right, shall we get into it?
Yeah, let's jump into the news.
Num 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 num.
And here's your bread. And your butter.
Okay, not in my ear, thank you.
Okay, before we get into our bread and butter, though, you guys quickly interrupted me saying you wanted to talk about Game of Thrones.
Yeah, so we had Fake Nerds Watch going, and we did
Yes.
the last season of Game
Our
of Thrones. And
Night's Watch has
we
ended.
put our last
On
episode
YouTube.
out because Game of Thrones ended right after we finished recording last week. And there are a lot of thoughts.
I for one, let me go first. Let me
No,
go
no,
first.
stop.
No,
Stop.
no,
Brandon,
shut
you don't
up.
get to do this every
You don't
time.
get to do
No.
this.
You don't get to do this.
You don't get
You
to
are not the
talk.
Facebook poster who goes, "Oh, here come the Game of Thrones posts." Just stop that.
Just saying.
Point my finger at you.
Why? Nobody can
Cut.
see it.
My finger points.
So Game of Thrones ended,
My finger
and
points.
everybody's got a lot of feelings about it.
Yeah.
Marty, Sam, you guys are Game of Thrones fans. Feelings?
It was the most wonderful thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Don't
All
do
right.
this
Well,
to me.
that's insincere.
We bring you into this podcast and you lie straight
I
to my
know
face.
you. I know you're
But, like,
lying.
people don't know that. I felt like after the season that I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I accept it.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like, I wasn't passionate about it. I wasn't like, there was like one moment when can we like say things?
Full spoilers for Game of Thrones. Skip ahead if you don't want to know.
You know, when John got Dany, that was like the only thing that really got me like, oh, because I was like, oh wait, was it him or did she get him?
Yeah.
And there was
Yeah.
that second where
That
I
was me
wasn't
too.
quite sure like which one got who.
Yeah.
That would actually have been a really awesome chain of events if Danny did something crazy and then
That
was
would
like,
have
Whoa.
been. I wondered. I'm like, what is this episode if that happened?
Yeah.
If
But
she'd
not-
done it.
But nope.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. If you're a person who likes Leslie Jones has fantastic Instagram reactions
Yes.
to Game of Thrones, and the one to that moment in particular was fantastic. Ben, do you have any like wrap up things you want to say about it, kind of broadly?
They kind of I saw a Facebook post where they really don't get into a lot of characters, like what happened to things, like what happened to Dario.
Oh,
Naharin
all the things that they forgot.
Yeah, all the shit they forgot, because they did forget a lot. And
Danny did forget about the Iron Fleet, but the Iron Fleet didn't forget about Danny.
Cersei's alcoholism forgot she was pregnant.
Yeah. There's
she did anyway.
I feel like the same way that Sam over here said that I kind of accept it. I kind of feel like I accept it the same way I accept the Star Wars prequels. I might not like it as all much, but it's still shut up, you.
No, but that's a good comparison. I mean, you accept episode 2 even though it's garbage.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I mean, yes, this like episode 2, episode 3, episode 1. They're not the best Star Wars movies, but they're part of the canon, so we have to accept it.
Episode 3 is the best Star Wars movie
of the prequels. I'll agree
in
with
your
you
opinion,
on that,
and that's fine.
Yeah,
but you don't watch Game of Thrones, so how much could you know?
I know, but after I first
at least
saw
I'm
it,
not one of those guys who says, "I don't watch Game of Thrones. Am I the only one?" Shut up.
Yeah.
Even I'm annoyed by that.
Yeah,
I love you.
No, but just it ended. It sucks to see a show that had such a high pedigree kind of fall to what it did in the last season. Upon further reflection, this last season is the weakest, and I couldn't say that about Game of Thrones. I said every season has been good. Even season 7, it fell below the bar 7, and it's just, damn it, D&D, why'd you have to rush it so much?
I'll tell you why.
You're right for Star Wars.
I wasn't gonna say it.
She said it.
Hey man, like I on one hand I get wanting to, start something new. They've been attached to this for like 10 years. At the same time, respect your audience.
Yeah.
That's all I want. Respect your audience.
It's kind of like a comic book writer who's ready to, like Jeff Johns often did this, where he's like, I really want to get to this, but I got to get to this first. So he'll like rush a story arc into like War of the Green Lanterns or something. He'll just rush that to get to the next one.
Yeah.
A friend of mine and a listener of this podcast, John Radley, shouts out to you, John. He posted a Facebook status not long after the episode had come out, and he said, "This is my non-spoiler summation of like what happened with Game of Thrones. Imagine that you're going to take a road trip on Route 66 from Santa Clara down all the way out to Chicago." And along the way, you're making all the stops, you're taking pictures, you're having fun, you're hitting all
Santa
the
Clara? Santa Monica.
Thank you, Santa Monica. I'm paraphrasing because I'm not reading directly from this thing.
I know, I gotcha.
And so you're making all the stops along the way. You're getting the experiences of like the little knickknacks,
It's
and
a
the
slow
abandoned
road
gas
trip.
stations and everything. You're getting all of that experience while making your journey. But then when you hit Texas, you decide to fly the rest of the way. And you grab a book about Route 66 on the way, and you just read about the things you're missing. And even though you're absorbing all the same information and you're learning about all those things that you didn't actually drive through, you've got all that information, but you're not having that intimate experience, and you're missing all the detail and fill-in and what was so important. Again, I'm paraphrasing what John said, but I think that's a really great analogy of what happened. You hit all the same major beats, but you lost so much of what enriched the journey along the way, especially because you started with it so full of these special details.
Right.
And that's really what went wrong with Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
We talked about it plenty in our Fake Nerds Watch.
Sure.
Please find us on YouTube.
Marty?
But did it feel more comfy? Like,
Oh, Marty.
You mean because we flew to the end of Game of Thrones? No, a lot of people got burnt.
Yeah.
Real bad.
People died,
Extra
Marty.
crispy.
Yeah. Like I said, we talked about this already, but like Game of Thrones is one of the greatest television shows of all time. I don't like whether you like it or not. Like in terms of quality on the technical level and the acting level, it is unparalleled for HBO.
And a disappointing ending does not mean bad show.
Exactly.
Right.
Like there are still a lot of great things about that show. Still things I will look back on.
8/10 of
and
this
think are
show is
incredible.
still perfect to me.
Yeah.
The last 2 seasons are the only real problems I've ever had in 10 years.
Which is why even with the ending like not living up to the standards we wanted it to, I would still say that you should eventually make the time and watch Game of Thrones, Brandon.
Probably
because
will.
it's still a strong show.
And there's the prequel show starts filming next month.
Oh.
That's
The
so
first
crazy.
prequel show. I can't believe that's happening that fast.
HBO needs more Game of Thrones money.
Just watch Westworld, please.
Right. More
Westworld is
subscribers.
actually a series I desperately want to watch.
Brandon, I'm glad you mentioned that because you would love Westworld because it's the Jurassic Park movie you've always wanted. The park actually worked for 30 years. Then the problems happened.
He literally brought this up. That he's like, can we get Brandon to be on Westworld? Because I want to do Westworld when Westworld season 3 drops.
I've
It's
tried.
20 episodes. Yeah, it's easy.
I will do my best to get through Westworld by the end of the month.
It comes out in 2020. You have 8 months.
Oh.
Just do it.
Okay, there
That's
you
all.
go. That's
yeah.
that's
Oh, yeah.
even easier.
Legion's the one you want to get done in a month.
Yeah.
That one's harder.
Okay, I'll get Legion then Westworld.
Yeah.
All right, so we get into the news proper now.
Proper news.
Bread and butter.
Well, I've already set it in.
More butter.
So we're in
Pass
the
that
segment.
bread.
All right, so first off, we do have some bad news to mention.
man.
This rocked the comic book world. If you had not heard about it, you know what? That's fine. That is fair. We are telling you now. Justin Ponsor, who is a colorist for Marvel, a prominent colorist from Marvel, has done many collaborations with many great writers, passed away this week at the age of 42.
Right.
He died of cancer. That is really, really sad.
Yes.
It's no age at all.
I was trying to find my phone to find all of his credits because he is a very prominent Marvel guy.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of Dan Slott's Spider-Man. He did a lot of Wolverine stuff. Like he's been
A lot of Bendis' Spider-Man.
A lot of Bendis' stuff. Yeah, he's when Marvel Now did a relaunch, like his colors were on the big splash page of all the new Marvel Now stuff, and I'm like, he was so young.
He was a colorist with Sarah Pacelli and Brian Bendis for Ultimate Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
When
He
it was
Civil War
Twisted
II.
End.
He was in the Spider-Man world for a long time.
He was. Bendis posted a really nice shot of it. I thought it was a really nice image that it was like, this is the last image that he did coloring for Bendis. And it was just an image at a movie theater of Miles and Gank laughing and eating popcorn. And I was like, man, that's a really sweet image that you were able to say, like, this was the last image I did with him. That's really cool.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
So it rocked the comic book world. It's really... Man, his presence will be missed.
And colorists aren't something people normally think about.
No.
Because when people...
They think about the writer and the artist, and
yes.
that's it.
And there
oftentimes just the writer.
Yeah, and oftentimes the artist they do all of their own stuff, but it is a collaborative process. And when you have to put out a book every single month, you have an inker, you have a colorist, you have a writer, you have so many specific jobs.
Look at Jim Lee. Jim Lee has like 4 people.
Jim Lee is insane. He's also gotten older. He's not the same he used to be. But yeah, Justin Ponsor, like, he really brought a style to all his comics, man. And like, it's a shame. Like, losing a colorist, like, it doesn't sound like a big deal, but there aren't a lot of really big ones. Like, Jordan Belair is a really big colorist and inker, but like, not a lot of them have a lot of recognition like Justin Ponsor did. And it just sucks because he was so young, dude.
42 years old.
It's a shame.
It's horrible. Shall we move on to a proper thing? I'm assuming Marty and Sam don't have much to say about that. You guys aren't much into comics, right?
That's not true. Marty reads comics, but he reads a lot of DC.
Oh, so okay. Marty is miming because he doesn't want to reach into the microphone.
All right, Mr. Mime, I like it.
All right, so let's get into it then. We have some casting news. On a couple of fronts. First things first. Penny Dreadful. Penny Dreadful is a series that is no longer on the air, but a spinoff is coming to us soon. No title yet for the spinoff, right?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
If you can find your phone, eventually.
If I could find my phone.
But Brent Spiner, Data himself from Star Trek: The Next Generation, has been cast as
unknown
as Captain Ned Vanderhoff.
Oh, Captain.
For the series, captain of the Hollenbeck police station, described as a man desperately trying to keep things under control on the volatile city of Los Angeles on the eve of World War II.
It was under my butt, and my butt was vibrating.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ben. Yeah, Brent Spiner is awesome casting.
Yeah.
And Natalie Dormer's in this. I forget who else has been cast.
Well, Nathan Lane has been
Nathan
cast
Lane,
as Louis McKenna.
Okay.
And Daniel Zavado cast as Detective Tiago Vega, who seems to be a main character.
Okay. Penny Dreadful is about, like vampires, werewolves, like all that. Like it's more.
It's the Penny Dreadfuls. It's the Frankenstein, Jekyll and Hyde. Those are all called Penny Dreadfuls because they cost a penny.
Old school Pulp Fiction novels, like old horror stuff. But it's more honestly like a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, but with a sexier rated R twist. And that I love the Penny Dreadful television show, and I'm so excited that it's transferring to Los Angeles in the 20s because it's like crazy Hollywood vampires is like the coolest shit I could want.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, he's gonna fight Nazis.
You said a character named Detective Tiago Vega.
Tiago Vega.
Do you think it's Tiago de la Vega?
Oh shit! I just registered.
Zorro.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, it is!
Damn.
100%. Holy shit, that's so cool.
That'd be cool.
The second you said Diego Vega,
dude, that
I
is
was like,
so...
wait, I know
the
that
grandson of Diego de la Vega?
Guys, that is so what is happening.
Detective
Oh, my God.
Tiago Vega.
Holy
please?
shit.
The amount of pulp fiction, like pulp characters that showed up in Penny Dreadful for like a second, like I totally believe Zorro shit's happening.
Right.
That just made me so much more excited.
That makes me want to watch the spinoff. Damn.
Yeah.
Marty and Sam, any interest in this series? Have you seen the original? Do you care for any of this?
I thought Penny Dreadful was someone's name.
Did you really?
So that's how much I knew.
I thought we were talking about it.
That's a
Penny-
cool name,
Pennywise,
though.
yeah.
Penny Dreadful.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah. All right. So moving on then. This is something I know you guys have an interest in. So Falcon and Winter Soldier, the Disney Plus TV series starring Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan. You know what? Actually, I won't say that. Deadline is reporting that Daniel Bruhl and Emily Van Camp are in talks to return as their characters, Sharon Carter and
Helmut Zemo.
Helmut Zemo, respectively.
Respectively.
Emily Van Camp played Helmut Zemo.
That's a twist.
They are in talks to return, and the series, as according to Deadline, the series is going to deal with the repercussions of Sam picking up the shield from Captain America.
That's awesome.
Spoilers for Endgame.
Spoilers.
Interesting. I would love to see these characters return.
Yeah, I feel like I'm really curious what Zemo's going to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad they kept him around. I was like, man, it'd be cool if they did something with Zemo. I doubt they will.
Yeah.
And now
They're gonna do
maybe
something.
I'm wrong.
Yeah.
It really makes me wonder because he was a bad guy, but now his mission was over and he's in jail. I really wonder if they're going to set up some Thunderbolt stuff.
I'll tell you what, though. Please do not have Emily Van Camp, Sharon Carter confirm that her uncle was Steve Rogers the entire
That
time.
is not. Listen, I
Gonna
don't
hate
care.
it.
After she
Totally
kissed
gonna
him?
happen.
I
Right?
don't care what the writers say.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
not
care what
Back
they
to
say
the Future
either.
logic. I don't care.
I'm with you, Sparks, because as you all know, I'm of the opinion how you interpret the film, that's how it should be. I don't need the confirmation either way.
Yeah.
It just
Don't even bring it up. It doesn't matter.
don't even bring it up.
Sharon Carter is
Do we
a awesome character in the comics, and she deserves more in the movies and stuff.
Do
Yeah, she
we
does.
know who's writing this show yet?
Oh, a director came on board. I forgot to, but I think there is a writer attached. We talked about it months and months and months ago.
As long as it's not Marcus and McFeely, I'm good.
No, they're not attached to this.
Great.
Yeah, I do know. For a
Maybe
fact
Winter
they're not
Soldier will
attached.
be a character now.
You know what? Yeah. Yeah, but keeping the idea that the ending of Endgame is ambiguous is
Yeah.
important. I think
Yeah.
you should really keep that idea.
I agree.
Marty and Sam, do you have anything you wanted to add about this series? Are you excited about the show? Going to get Disney Plus?
Yeah, probably.
We're definitely gonna have Disney Plus. We got 2 kids.
Sam's like,
Like-
yeah, we're going to have that.
Yeah, like that's not. But no, I think it'd be a lot of fun to watch. I'm excited to see Sharon Carter do something.
Both of which have been
how-
underserved, yeah.
How do you guys feel about Sam Wilson being Captain America?
Love it.
It's okay.
Oh my god.
You should read that comic run. It's like
You got Marvel
how many
Unlimited.
issues?
It's like
Oh,
23.
Yeah.
It's like 23,
It's 23 issues.
You could get through that pretty quick, and it's a solid read.
Yeah,
it's,
we read
it's
a lot.
good stuff.
I know. At least you read a lot of it.
I did for Civil
Secret
War
Empire.
II, Secret Empire prep. Yeah,
That's a good book. So Malcolm Spellman has been tapped to write, and he did Empire, and he did Sopranos and some other HBO stuff.
Okay.
So he's a TV guy.
Okay, all
So,
right.
solid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting. Can't wait to see what happens there.
Yeah, I'm just really glad. I really like Zemo as especially this Zemo, because
Yes.
that actor is really,
I'm
really talented.
really
really
into
good.
that.
I love Daniel Bruhl.
I would love any excuse to put him in the mask.
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah. It's such a
I know
silly
that's
mask.
hokey.
No, it's
but,
great.
But I would love an excuse to do it.
Yeah.
Crown or no crown?
Oh, crown! If you're doing
100%.
it, you have to have the crown.
If we can get Luke Cage in his tiara for a second, we can definitely get a
yeah,
helmet.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah.
100% agree.
Yeah.
Also, Luke Cage is really good. I'm watching season 2.
So,
Yes.
Wait, Zemo wears a what?
Oh, Zemo
I'm
has
gonna bring
a-
up a picture.
Zemo has a purple sock over his head.
Like picture like a purple beanie, but then you drag it down over your face and down around your neck.
See, it
and
sounds
it has
dumb,
white eye holes, and he has
And
a
he has a
gold
little
crown.
gold
but
crown.
it's comic books.
That's what Zemo looks like in the
That's-
comics.
that's
So is it
Zemo.
kind of like Brightburn, or
Yeah, actually,
my
kind of.
God.
yeah, a little bit.
He's an old Nazi man, and then he has a son who's like a modern Nazi man.
Yeah, check him out. That's beautiful.
He's got a purple sock head. Yeah, it's cool.
Purple sock head is what his new name
That's
should
that's what German. That's what
I'm happy
Zemo's-
for Emily
yeah.
Van Camp.
be. Me too.
For real, because I don't want her to be relegated as like Steve's random niece girlfriend, because she's so much better in the comics.
Yeah.
So much better.
Well,
She's been
Maria Hill and
Both.
Sharon Carter both need to be better
Yeah.
in the series.
At least Maria Hill's gotten a little more to do.
One could
Sharon
argue
is
that
like
the lady characters in general could
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
better in
Yeah.
the series.
Yeah.
I hope that they don't bring her on, and then now she's like Falcon's girl.
No, they won't do
Then
that.
I'm like,
No.
oh man, she's just after the
no.
shield.
Falcon
For-
and Misty Knight have to get together.
Can I just say?
Oh,
Can I just say?
You're speaking my dream.
Can I just say? CBR, wonderful site CBR, said, Agent 13, Sharon Carter, has had a long history with Captain America, so you could easily give Sam Wilson those stories and make them lovers in the comics. Like are horrible.
Brandon,
Stop
I'm going to
it.
stop you right there because I want to quote one of my favorite lines from one of my favorite films. How about no?
Which is that?
Is it Brightburn?
How about no?
I think
Is that
that's
Austin
the
Powers?
funniest thing you've said all day. Wow.
Yeah, so
Is it Brightburn?
because I actually do have something to say about this. Yay to Sharon Carter, yay to Zemo. I want them both in there. I've read the stuff I've read with Sharon and Zemo comes from Steve Rogers' Captain America. Because we had to do it for Secret Empire prep, and also I really fell in love with Captain America in that run.
Yeah.
I would really like to see him, but I don't want to see Sharon become Sam's girlfriend because she has to fall in love with Captain America. No, she freaking doesn't.
Ideally, that won't be a focus of the show because one could think that she could be on the show and not be a love interest.
That would be great
at all.
I would be
It
totally
also
fine
would
with
make
that.
sense because Falcon and Bucky both watched her make out with Captain America, and they
Exactly.
were cool with it.
Yeah.
They're not about to swoop in.
No.
So she's going to be Bucky's
Swoop.
love interest.
No,
What? Hey,
Wait,
no,
wait.
no.
Swoop.
I just
What, have
want
you
her
never-
not to be a love interest.
Yeah.
I think that'd be great because that was what was great about Black Widow.
Yeah.
Was she had these really great relationships with these guys, but there was other than
They were all
one of
platonic
them,
and friendships.
They were,
Yeah.
They were
I
family.
agree.
Yeah.
Wait, but Ryan, are you saying that you've never dated or made out or hooked up with somebody that one of your friends also made out with at one point in time that you saw?
Listen,
I don't like where this is going.
Listen,
I really don't know where this
I
is
also
going.
don't like where this is going.
The point is, I'm sorry, Brian.
I see where you're going. I don't want real world stuff in my superheroes.
This was a pointed attack at me. I just want to be clear.
It was really an attack on me.
Oh,
Brian, I thought you were talking about yourself too.
I was.
What? Oh, I just got it. Never mind. I'm not going to.
we had a very incestuous
Short
group.
version. Brandon made out with a lady. I saw it. I also made out with said lady at a later date.
Listen, mouths are mouths.
Mouths
What
are
are you
mouths.
gonna do?
That's the new slogan.
That's the new
Shake
shirt.
Nerd Podcast. Mouths are mouths.
Mouths
Brian
are
just
mouths.
mouths are mouths.
All right, let's get off of this.
What's next?
Talking about
Is it Brightburn?
Not yet.
talking about comics.
I like those.
I would talk about the big thing after this. I just do want to quickly shout out. There's a comic book that sounds kind of cool. I'm kind of stoked for it. Gwenpool Strikes Back. Gwenpool is not a character that's made waves with us, but I've always said if you wanted to do something really cool and interesting, this is kind of what I wanted to see. So this will see Leah Williams and David Baldian. Do you want to say something, Sparks?
No, go
Sure.
ahead.
David Baldian doing the art, writing. The solicitation reads, "That's right, everyone's favorite comics fan turned comics character is back, and this time she's playing for keeps. Gwenpool is desperate not to disappear into comic book limbo, so she's going to make an impact on the Marvel Universe. First up, unmask Spider-Man, and heck, maybe see if she can get some real superpowers while she's at it." So Gwenpool, for Marty and Sam, if you don't know, Gwenpool is Gwen Stacy from the real world who becomes a comic book character, and because she thinks she's immune because comic book characters are immune, she thinks she's got plot armor. That she's just not going to die because she's
like a super Deadpool.
She's like a real person. She's a real person, not a comic book character. And I've always said if you want to do something really cool with that character, you should make her kind of, you should put that in the stories that she's better than these characters because she's a real person, so she knows better. And I feel like that's kind of the idea that they're going with this series. I'm kind of interested in seeing where they take that.
It's a cool meta commentary.
Yeah.
Especially all these characters that end up in this limbo.
Yeah, I like Leah Williams. At least I follow her on Twitter. She's really funny on Twitter. So
Yeah.
I hope. I will support any character if the book is good.
Yeah.
So if this book is good, I would love a chance to say, hey, this is a good Gwenpool comic. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out.
Is the only other comic news you have the big one?
Yes.
I actually just remembered something that we talked about that we did want to talk about this week, which is there is a Captain Marvel comic happening at IDW.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
what?
It's an all ages IDW.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. A Marvel license quote unquote license out there, all ages titles to IDW. IDW publishes the Marvel all
it's
ages
just
titles.
weird.
It's just weird, but who's doing it again?
Sam Maggs.
Sam
I believe.
Maggs. Sam Maggs is doing it, and the art looks awesome.
Yeah.
Art
yeah.
looks awesome.
She
And
was
I'm like,
when we saw Captain
why is this
Marvel
IDW?
at the El Capitan. She was like the initiator. Like she was like the host
Yeah.
or whatever. She's like a cool nerdy internet girl.
That's
so it's
cool.
cool that she's writing Marvel comics.
Anyway, this title looks really cool.
Yeah.
They have IDW has a ton of Marvel all ages comics right now.
It's super weird.
Yeah, well, it's Disney has like an all ages deal with IDW. You look at like the Walt Disney comics. Proper,
I
they're
get
being
it.
published through IDW.
It's just still odd.
yeah. You want one of the actors from Winter Soldier is writing.
Okay, if you guys remember the scene in Winter Soldier where they go to the Apple store and there's the long-haired guy. He's like, I've been
calls Steve a specimen.
Yeah, like you're a specimen. Like that guy's a comedian and he's going to be writing a like Winter Soldier comic for Marvel, like in Marvel Comics Presents.
Yeah, Marvel Comics Presents, which is an anthology series.
Yeah.
A couple of stories. Charles Soule is like spearheading it.
Yeah.
So he's writing a story on that one.
But he's writing the Bucky Barnes story, and he's like really excited about it.
That's
That's
awesome.
pretty cool.
Yeah. So the other thing, the big thing,
Yeah.
Tom King. So let's do the events of what happened. Because Ryan, you were in disbelief.
Because I think in like I know it happened, but I'm in the right in thinking there's no way this is happening because I still think it is bullshit. And it's not fair to Tom King, but we'll get to it.
Yeah. So Tom King, a rumor came out that
Yeah.
Tom King was leaving Batman at issue 85.
I also want to point out before we get too far into that a long time ago we talked about
Batman 50 kept coming out.
smoke before fire at
Yeah.
DC. There's a whole lot of not so great sounding things, and one of them was Tom King being taken
But
off
this
of
was a
Batman.
while ago.
It was a while ago.
Right.
I'm just saying, like,
No, I know,
that
that's
was
why-
part of the reason why you didn't buy it is because
Yeah.
this came up once before
Yeah.
and it wasn't true.
The difference being, which I didn't say at the time to you, Ryan, is that the difference was that with Batman 50, Tom King specifically came out and said, "This isn't true. I'm doing this 100 issue thing," and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Tom King had been signed on to do 106 issues of Batman. Was what he was planning on.
Yeah, I think 105 was going to be the final issue because there was a 0 issue.
Yeah, so he was going to wrap up his entire Selina Kyle Bruce Wayne love
Bane.
story.
Bane also is
Bane.
the main figure here.
And City of Bane is due to be the next story arc that's going to end at 85. So a rumor came out that he was leaving Batman, and everyone at this table was in disbelief. Like, how? No way.
It's you're 15 issues away from finishing a 100 issue run that you've planned from the start. Like I was firmly like, there's no way they wouldn't do this to Tom King.
So I kept an eye on it because I was like, there's something weird about this. Mitch Gerard's even posted like, I know something you don't know. And Tom King said thanks for the support. Nothing was coming out. Nothing. And then the confirmation started coming that this was happening.
Yeah.
That Tom King was in fact leaving Batman, but we didn't know why. So we found out why. He is leaving Batman. It seems to be of his choice because he is going to wrap up his story arc in Batman Catwoman with Clay Mann. It's going to be a 12-issue maxi series that's going to take place in canon after City of Bane, which will be his last Batman story. It appears that he is doing this so that he can go work on other things, like bigger things that he has planned. He's got a statement which I pulled up, if you guys don't mind. He said, "To me, Batman and Catwoman is a chance." He posted this on Twitter. Is a chance to do what Morrison quietly did in Batman and Robin. Launch an ambitious, accessible, beautiful, thrilling new series that concludes years of stories and defines what Batman is, can, and will be. This will be a comic about what the best Batman comics are always been about, how our greatest hero turns fear into bravery, pain into hope, trauma into love. It's the story I always wanted to tell, and I'm telling it with the man I consider to be the greatest artist in comics, my brother Clay Mann. It's tough to leave Batman. It's a gift and a joy to be on that book, but I'm leaving it to work on the biggest, most ambitious projects of my career. Comics I get to make with the best collaborators in comics, and that's a gift and a joy too. Finally, I can't say enough how much I've appreciated the support of my fans and colleagues in the past few days. I remain in awe of the power of this medium and the compassion of its readers. As ever, as always, you all saved me. And so he posted that on Twitter.
Yep.
So that's insane. I was shocked because I'm not the biggest fan of Tom King's Batman run, but I do like Tom King as a writer, and I'm always in favor. Finish your story. You should always be allowed to finish your story. But the fact that Bleeding Cool said he was taken off. CBR got a thing where saying like, no, he's doing it to do something else. So I don't know. Ryan, you have something to say.
I'm going to ask you this, Brandon.
Yeah.
If you were on issue 75 of your 100 issue run, and they said, "Hey, what if we give you a 12-issue series to finish it instead of just straight up canceling it? Wouldn't you rather finish your 100-issue run?
Well, it depends.
No, just yes or no.
No,
that's all. Because
you're giving me his thing.
Yeah.
Now, if his thing is, we want. Now, if his thing is, like he says, I've decided to leave Batman to work on. Let's say Grant Morrison was like, I'm leaving Batman to work on Multiversity.
Yeah.
What if that's what's happened?
Multiversity took like 9 years.
It was a major
here's what I
ambitious
think.
project.
Okay, I think this was a huge compromise, and I don't think Tom King is going to bash the people who's paying him.
Oh, absolutely not. No.
This was I 100% believe this was a compromise. Nobody in their right mind, I don't care how great your plans are in the future, if you are setting out to write 100 issues and you get 8/10 of the way there, you do not want to stop at 85. That's bullshit. I do not believe that. He was taken off the book because the sales are bad. They don't want another 2 years of decent Batman sales.
The sales aren't that bad.
They're not, but with a new number one, they can launch more.
I don't think they're going to do a number one.
100%. Superman just launched with the number one with Bendis a couple months
that's
ago.
fair.
Yeah, no, 100% it's fair.
But
and I think
Aquaman
it sucks.
didn't.
Because to be fair, Aquaman is not the seller or the character Batman is.
Sure.
100%. And it's just, I understand everything you're saying, and like he does get to finish his story
Yeah.
with a like 10 issue less maxi series that's only 12 issues. And yeah, he still could have got to do his Multiversity anyway. It's only 15 issues away. It's not. I don't think it's fair, and I think DC was just simply like, we don't want to wait for the Batman number one to come out. We don't want to wait 2 years. We're gonna do it now, and you can have your miniseries because they're not cutting him off the book. They're giving him a side book, which is still his book. It is not called Batman, and Batman Catwoman will never sell as much as a Batman comic, no matter what.
Well, we put Tom King's name on it. Might
a Batman Catwoman comic will never sell as much as a Batman comic. 1,000,000,000%.
I think you're being unfair. I don't necessarily think you're wrong. I just think you're being a little unfair to the power of that name. People are going to go for Batman Catwoman because of the name. People went for Batman and Robin because of the name.
Brandon, if we look at sales for the last 10 years of comics, I promise you, Batman and Robin will never sell more than Batman.
When Morrison was on Batman and Robin and Scott Snyder was on Batman,
yes.
Morrison's Batman and Robin sold more than Scott Snyder's Batman. That is a fact.
Okay.
That series did not switch until the New 52.
And I like that Batman and Robin stuff.
That's when that switched.
Also, Batman and Robin had 7 volumes to do its story, while Tom King gets 12 issues.
Regardless of like that namesake getting him, people to pick up the issues or anything.
He's not writing Batman anymore.
He's still not writing the same amount of issues he was planning to do to begin with,
right.
And I don't think that's a choice.
It's not a choice.
I don't.
It's not.
If he was originally planning that many issues, I don't think that he went, 12 is better.
Sure.
He's not Dan Benioff and DB
He's
Weiss.
not Game of Thrones.
He might be.
He just got he got
might
turned
in a
into
mask.
Game of Thrones. Tom King got turned into Game of Thrones because those 12 issues, they're going to be great. They are not going to be the same qualities if he got to finish his natural story.
Yeah, this is just a longer, drawn-out, more big-scale version of what happened with Tomasi when Bendis came.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Oh, with Super Sons.
No, with Superman.
With Superman.
Oh, Superman.
So Tomasi and just to explain, Tomasi and Gleason were on Superman not for 100 issues, but they were on much longer.
They were telling a story.
They were telling a story, and when DC when DC basically bought Bendis, they spent so much money on Bendis that they were like, we need to give him something. So they kicked Patrick Gleason and Peter Tomasi off of Superman and gave it to Bendis. A move as Ryan is upset, I was upset with.
Yeah, that is fair. That is 100% fair to that creative team.
Even though I like what Bendis has done, I still agree that I didn't want Tomasi to not be able to tell the rest of the story he wanted to tell with Superman because of Bendis.
And my
you know what? And you know what? They only got one issue to end everything. They got a special to end everything, and that was awful.
Because their name doesn't have as much pull as Tom King's.
Yeah.
But I do agree with Ryan. I don't think this was a choice.
Sure.
I don't think he of his own volition sat there and went, you know what, this would be much better as a 12-issue side series.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make any sense.
I mean, just to play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Now it could be his projects got so overwhelming to him that he was like, well, why don't I just wrap up Batman like this and then I
because
get to
he's
do
not
everything.
He's not the Game of Thrones guys.
Sure.
You do not write
and
5 years of a comic.
You could get tired of it.
But
Like,
even if he did want to do that,
5 years of a comic, you can
Bro.
get kind of like, all right, you know what?
I promise you, he's not tired of Batman.
But even if he did want to do that, he could just say, you know what, I'm not going to 100. I found that I could end my story here. Like, he could still just be writing Batman. He doesn't have to go to a side series to do it. Even if he did want
his
to cut
finale
the story short.
is a side story. And that for me, I would rather have 100 issues of Batman. That's one complete story because that has never been done. It's never been done.
Right.
In the history of comic books, there has not been one single solitary story for 100 issues. Maybe besides Hickman, but that's multiple stories converging.
No, yeah, I was about to say Hickman's was like 3 different titles converging into one.
Yeah.
Morrison went from Batman to Batman and Robin to Batman Incorporated.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It just that's for me. Like I know like.
And I kind of understand like DC if DC pushed them off the book that they would want Batman to be more ingrained in what's happening with the DC universe because that's also part of this news is that they are going to move Batman to once a month instead of twice a month and incorporate it into the larger DC universe once again. Whereas Batman's kind of been mostly standalone.
Yes, and I love that stuff. And like a week or two ago, there was the news that like the way Tom King is leaving Batman, it's going to change him for a generation. And I'm like, I truly believe that they're gonna kill him. They're gonna make him crippled. They're gonna do something to drastically change Batman
He'll be the
forever.
third writer in a row to kill Batman.
Yes,
But like even to move Batman closer to the Justice League stuff, there are 2 Batman titles
there's
every
Detective
month.
Comics.
Yeah,
which is
You could just
way more traditional comic book.
Yeah, you can just do it with that and still let Tom King do
Yeah.
his Batman story. And the thing is, like, if you're a person who was following Tom King's Batman at all, you know that he was doing a very special story.
Oh yeah.
And you want it to get its full deserved conclusion. This doesn't feel like it's that.
Like I said, I wasn't on board for the title. Not because I don't like Tom King, but he should, as you guys are saying, he should be allowed to finish the story the way he wants.
That's all. It's unfair. I think it's unfair to him because, like, at the end of the day, I really do feel this is like a business decision where, like, because all this news was happening months ago or a year ago when 50 came out, and I'm like, if
there was such a sour reaction to it,
and if you guys would have just nicked it there, then he wouldn't have got to get to 3/4 of the story.
And if you remember, like his response when people were getting upset about 50s, he's like, "You got to wait.
Exactly.
I have a plan. There is
this
a plan.
is his fall, and the next 50 are his rise.
Right.
I'm never gonna get that. I'm gonna get 25 issues and then a 12-issue mini story.
But what if it still ends strong?
Oh, it will. That's not what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I'm saying I'm going to have 85 issues and a 12-issue side story instead of 100 solid story. Mm-hmm. And no matter how you shake it, you have to do creative story choices to change those last 15 issues to this 12-issue maxi series. Mm-hmm. That's all. I really, really love the new Batman run, guys. It is super heartfelt and emotional, more than Batman's ever been in his entire life. And it breaks my heart that we're still going to get the end of it, but not the true ending. We're getting a Game of Thrones ending, and that really bums
It's a
me out.
lot of years and work put into a narrative, and that narrative is getting shortchanged on some level, regardless of what way you slice it.
Ben, you look like you have something to say.
Yeah, if you hear some weird sounds in the background, those are my roommates. They're fixing up an old Mustang in the back. We're recording.
Mustang Sally.
Sorry, guys.
I blame Robert Pattinson.
Damn it, Pat.
God damn it.
Sign the petition.
The person to blame seems to be I don't know if you guys are aware, but Time Warner and AT&T recently merged. AT&T now owns Warner Brothers, which owns DC Comics, and it looks like this could be a business decision that is
coming all the way from up there,
from up on AT&T, which is wrong. When Warner Brothers stepped in, the last time Warner Brothers stepped in to try to change the comics, the New 52 happened.
Right?
Oh boy, and they've been doing so well with Rebirth.
Yeah.
So like it bums me out a little bit.
And actually, I'm starting to feel like what's going on with Rebirth right now, like the Rebirth story, is gone.
Well, Doomsday Clock is still going on.
Well, but I think that's what's happened. Like, look, so real quickly, I don't mean to get into this tangent, but hell, why not? Jeff Johns is writing Doomsday Clock and Shazam, and neither of those books are the biggest book ever. That's Jeff Johns.
Yeah, I know.
Brian Michael Bendis is writing 2 Superman titles that are lukewarm, being received lukewarm at best.
Yeah.
Scott Snyder is writing Justice League, and it's not the biggest thing that's happening right now. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I don't know. And all those books are good.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And so what feels like happening is something happened editorial wise or business wise up at AT&T. Something has happened that has steered the goodwill that Rebirth had into the ground.
Yeah.
And I'm not happy with
I don't know that
We're
I
not
would
there
say.
yet.
I don't know that I would say into the ground,
Not
but I
yet.
would say downward.
Sure, downward is better.
Yeah, I don't think we're like sinking.
Yeah.
I think we're just, we've taken a dip. This was all on a high, and all of a sudden DC Comics is actually riding at a mid. I still think it's actually probably prospering a little better than Marvel right now, although Hickman's about to drop the mic on that one.
Right. Hickman's coming in with X-Men. Like, I feel like the promise of Rebirth has not been delivered, and at this point will never be delivered.
Yeah, I will say like the quality of stories are there, but yeah, like the whole of like what's the story behind Rebirth? Like I think it's because Doomsday Clock. I really do, because that was kind of like
that was supposed to be the centerpiece.
That was
to
the launching
lead
point
to whatever the Rebirth event was, because the whole tease of Rebirth was we now know Dr. Manhattan reaching back towards the Justice League, and that was the Doomsday Clock book, and the Doomsday Clock book is a year and a half behind when it was supposed to end.
Can't believe it.
And you know, like it or not, and I will say that I don't think Heroes in Crisis is a good book, but Heroes in Crisis, because of what it's done with the central character of Rebirth, Wally West, has soured the entire line, the entire Rebirth line.
It's just they're not on the same page, is what it's
exactly.
Yeah.
That's it. There's some editorial, business, creators. No one is on the same page anymore.
The problem is like, and we can wrap this up because we've been talking a while, but like these big events take a while to like manufacture, to get done, to plot, and like. On both sides, Marvel and DC, like all of these events are always late. Yeah. It's like, just guys, get your scheduling right. Like, come on,
Marty, Sam, you guys dip quite a bit into DC Comics. Any thoughts here?
Into the mic, please.
Well, we don't. I don't read the comics. I watch like some of the shows.
Robert Pattinson.
Big fan of DC superhero girls.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But other than that, I don't personally read the comics. But you do.
Yeah, no, I don't really have any thoughts on this. Like,
you've been reading a decent chunk of Rebirth stuff, right?
Yeah, for sure.
He's a big
I just
like,
how invested are you in like the event, like when Rebirth happened? I know we were talking about like that. I was saying like this is a revival of DC Comics and everything. How invested have you been in like where that narrative might go?
I actually didn't really care too much about the event. Like, it wasn't that big of a deal. I just wanted new stories. I wanted.
Can you get closer?
Yeah, I just wanted new stories. I wanted new characters. I wanted just interesting things to happen. And like the Rebirth was kind of like, all right, that seems cool, but I don't really need a big event. So
yeah, well. We get one like every 3 months, so
yeah. And Doomsday Clock wasn't supposed to be that kind of thing.
Yeah,
but hey,
oopsie poopsie.
Let's move on from this.
Yeah,
that was fun. Fun little tangent.
I love Batman.
All right, I can tell.
Yeah.
Star Wars news. The other controversial topic on today's docket.
Oh my.
Well, Star Wars just in general is a controversial topic at this point.
Is it?
Well, I got into a fight about Star Wars: The Last Jedi the other day.
Why?
Someone just wanted to bitch to me about why he didn't like Star Wars: The Last Jedi. I assumed he wanted to talk about it.
No.
I was wrong.
No.
He was like, "Did you like Star Wars: The Last Jedi?" I did. Do you want to have a discussion? He just wanted to yell at me about it. It wasn't my fault.
I believe you.
Which even I know it could sound like it is. Knights of the Old Republic.
I love this.
So Knights of the Old
the game.
Yeah. So
it was a game.
So Kathleen Kennedy was approached probably like 2 weeks ago. Is there any plans for Knights of the Old Republic? Anything? And she said, "We are looking into options." That was the quote. We're looking into options.
So far, it doesn't sound bad to me.
It looks like one of those options is a script by Laeta Kalogridis.
You did great. She's Greek. You did great.
Thank you. She was the writer for Alita Battle Angel, more specifically, also for Avatar, a couple of things. She will be the first writer, if this movie moves forward, which there's no guarantee it will. They're just looking at the script. Think about like Obi-Wan Kenobi. We know there was a script available. Nothing has ever happened from that. Yet. So if this happens, she will be the first woman to ever write a Star Wars film. So that's kind of cool that they are actually pushing forward with something. I would like to see this happen. See this greenlit.
I would like to believe that the Game of Thrones guys are not writing their own script because I don't want them to. I would like to think that this might be the script that they're going to use, because if they're working on the script now, that means it's a script that's being developed soon, and those movies are going to start shooting soon. So I'd like to think.
I don't think this is. If they are looking at Knights of the Old Republic, anything, they need to approach it differently than everything else, because this is a.
Have you played Knights of the Old Republic?
No, but this is a game that everyone loves. Everyone's been clamoring for Knights of the Old Republic. It is something that will never be as good as what has been hyped up in everyone's mind. It cannot be the next Star Wars movie, because you've already in production with those. As far as we know, this is not in production. This isn't even greenlit. This is just we're looking at the script to see if it's happening.
Okay,
that's all I'm saying.
Sure. She was tapped to write this over like a year ago. So I think it's we'll see. I think so. Normally, when we hear stories about things, they're already way in production.
True,
right?
But everyone's very clear to say that a Knights of the Republic thing is not happening yet.
Yeah.
It is, but the next Star Wars film is happening. So that's what we know.
We'll see.
Sparks, do you have anything on that?
It could be Knights of the Old Republic. Like that could be their trilogy. They're not going to tell us, so it's not shocking that they could be like, yeah, well, they don't want to get everybody excited if it's not going to be. You know,
True, yeah.
Also, because like the script could be that time period, but they decide to go further away from what the game is. But right now, they're probably trying to go pretty close to what the game had that people liked.
Also, there are 3 games. One of them is good. So like so what you're talking about, Brandon, about like the KOTOR, Knights of the Republic, the Legacy, it's partially there because that game came out like 19 years ago,
Sure.
and then all the other games have come out and ruined it. So
I think
like,
more importantly,
except the Old Republic MMO.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's fine. It's not great. I played it.
I think more importantly, it's the fascination with that time period than anything.
Yeah, it's 5,000 years in the past. That's incredible.
People want to see a story at, and so that's what people are clamoring for more than anything else.
And
I
it
think
doesn't
the
have to be
inclusion
tied
of
to the
Darth
games.
Revan.
I would love it to be tied to the games, but it doesn't have to be.
Sure.
It's just like that's the extended universe stuff.
Much like
that's
you
good.
and I said, like it doesn't have to have much to do with the games. However, they can't make a Knights of the Old Republic movie and not have Darth Revan in it, just for the same reason that like they can definitely repurpose Darth Revan as a character the same way they did Thrawn.
Yes. I like that analogy.
But they recognize Dave Filoni, if no one else recognizes, Darth Revan would be an important figure just like Thrawn was. People are going to want that character brought in if you're going to that time period.
Right.
Hell yeah.
So you don't have to do the game story. You do have to include things like him from it. But like I think it's more the fascination with that time period in Star Wars that we've never seen in film.
Sure.
That's why people want it.
And KOTOR is a RPG where you create you can be any alien, any class, so they can do any made up character as long as you have those same characters. You can do any story, really.
Yeah, there's not a narrative that they have to follow in
Yeah.
adapting it.
Sure.
They don't have to do the game.
Anyone else want to, before we move on to the big Star Wars news?
Hey, how you guys feel about that Knights of the Old Republic Star Wars stuff?
Do you guys care about Star Wars?
I do care about Star Wars, but I don't really care about that.
Okay.
It's fair.
Maybe you care about this one then. Vanity Fair released a whole issue of,
Marty loves Vanity Fair. Won't stop talking to me about it.
of Star Wars Episode 9,
Under his bed.
The Rise of Skywalker. We got some pictures, not a whole lot of plot nuggets, but we see first looks of
Horses.
The most important
Space
thing,
horses.
the Knights of Ren.
Yes.
the Knights
Yeah.
of Ren. We do see the Knights of Ren. We see Kerry Russell. We see a couple of shots of Leia from The Force Awakens. We see how that's kind of being retooled for The Rise of Skywalker. The horse, you brought up the horses. I hate the shot of the horses.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. What it looks like to me is the actors are not moving, but
Yeah, it's called a picture.
but the horses have motion blur.
Oh, okay.
So the horses,
It's weird staged photos.
yeah. So the horses have motion blur on them, but the actors don't. So the actors look like they're standing on moving things, and that bugs me. It like hurts my eyes.
I understand that. Yeah.
The horses look good though. I thought we already saw horses in Last Jedi, but whatever.
No, those weren't horses. Those are more like weird giraffe monsters.
We get a first look at Richard E. Grant.
Hell yeah, being evil man.
Allegiant General Pride is his name.
Ooh, is it with a Y instead of an I?
Actually, yes.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
After the E. No, I'm kidding.
Yes.
Pridey.
Hey guys, I don't think.
We know the name of the new planet.
Yep.
Pasana is there's a planet that she's on in the first trailer.
I don't think Kerry Russell.
What's its aesthetic that is all over the planet?
Desert.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Oh, we're doing that
Like
again.
Tatooine.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Batu.
Jakku.
Jakku.
Batu. Jakku. I think Kerry Russell is more than that. Whatever that weird helmet thing is. I think she's going to be a major character.
Oh, I think so too. You don't cast Kerry Russell if you don't.
Isn't she just Felicity?
I think she's Luke's daughter.
Did you? Oh, Christ.
Yeah, I think she's going to be like a bounty hunter or like whatever weird space helmet character she is, and she was deliberately put away.
Did you guys ever see Patrick Willems' video about what Felicity can tell us?
No,
about?
I did not. I did not watch it. I'm aware of it.
It's really funny.
Are you guys aware of the Felicity show at all? With Kerry Russell?
No.
Okay.
The J.J. Abrams joint?
There's
the
a
only
show that
thing-
J.J. Abrams made called Felicity.
It's the only
Oh,
show
like
that
back
JJ.
in the day?
Yeah.
Yes, back in the
Okay,
day.
I didn't watch it, but like
Get closer to the mic, please.
But you know about it.
I know about it. Yeah.
It's the only show that J.J. Abrams started and ended. It's the only thing that J.J. Abrams has ever started, followed through, and ended.
Yeah, it's true.
So Patrick Willems was
true, all
like,
of
"What
it."
can this show tell us about the Rise of Skywalker?" It's really funny. There's some cool pictures. My favorite picture is actually one I'm kind of most worried about, and it is a picture of Luke standing over Last Jedi looking Luke.
Flashbacks.
I think
Force Ghost.
It's not Force Ghost because they
Flash
would have showed
Ghost.
us the Force Ghost. Look,
Space
this is
Ghost.
clearly his. It's not Space Ghost.
Coast to Coast.
That's a DC character. Yeah, so it's him with R2D2. I'm hoping there's some technical wizardry being Force Ghost.
I'm thinking it's a flashback.
Remind me, because I don't remember what the image is. It like on a volcanic planet?
No, it's just a fire.
It's on fire.
Remember in the flashback?
I was going to say
Yeah,
the same.
It's
Yeah.
from
It looks like
Last
it's just
Jedi.
the flashback
But
when
that's
he
not his,
touches R2.
But that's not his look.
I mean, it doesn't matter. It's a behind-the-scenes photo.
No, but this is not a behind the scenes photo. This is a still from the film.
That's a terrible still from the movie, if that's a still from the movie.
No, that's what a lot of these are. There's only a couple of behind the scenes stuff, but a lot of these are stills from the movie.
That's not a staged photo like the one on horses?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
That's a terrible shot, and I have no interest in this movie.
It's a little harsh.
Remember those Terminator
But this
Genesis Vanity Fair pictures?
But this is
Oh yeah.
what it is Luke looking like he did in The Last Jedi. I know if we know from The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens, Luke looked different in the flashback sequences. It looked younger. This is him looking as he does now, old, grizzled Luke Skywalker. I really hope it's not indicating that he survived at the end of The Last Jedi.
He's definitely
He
dead.
didn't. He faded away into the
yeah,
Force.
but as we know, J.J. Abrams does not like The Last Jedi.
Well, too bad.
But that's what we're worried about, Ben. is
Too
that
bad.
Don't tell us. Tell J.J. Abrams. Because what we're worried about is that J.J. Abrams is going to just be like...
You mean what you're worried about?
Well, you are too, a little bit.
No, I'm not.
You're worried that J.J. Abrams isn't going to be like, yeah, Last Jedi never happened. Don't worry
I'm
about
not
it.
worried that he's going to make Luke not dead.
No, I'm worried... I'm using that as an example of what is indicative of what I'm worried about with J.J. Abrams coming back to be like, yeah, we know you didn't like The Last Jedi, so we're just going to redo a lot of all that stuff.
JJ,
Yes, I am concerned
JJ
about that.
just did have a quote, and like we can believe him or not, but it's like I really like what he did in Last Jedi made me be more like crazy in this movie. I'm like, oh, all right, that's cool.
I
hope so.
believe on some level that as a filmmaker, J.J. Abrams wants to respect The Last Jedi because I think J.J. Abrams probably actually did like The Last Jedi. I don't think he disliked it.
Yeah.
I also think that J.J. Abrams is a filmmaker who has worked for many studios and companies and recognizes that the company itself wants to save face in the fact that The Last Jedi was very controversial and be like, make it more like the old thing that your movie did. Your movie did the old thing and people liked it. Do the old thing.
Yeah.
And so I think he has to play that balance now, regardless of what he personally wants.
I agree.
I don't want
Thoughts
the
on
old
Star
thing.
Wars, my friends?
I've only
Silence.
seen like 2 of them.
I know you are so unknowing of the Star Wars world.
It's okay.
We
They got-
like Jar Jar Binks, right?
Nope.
No.
Oh no, you guys.
He's the greatest character that has ever been written.
Marty,
right?
you can't do this
that's
to
a
me.
thing.
Marty?
Marty,
Don't.
you've actually seen Star Wars
That's
movies.
what everybody
Do you have
agrees
thoughts?
upon. Yes. I didn't really like The Last Jedi, but that's because I just thought it was boring.
Yeah.
Not because of the decisions. Though.
See, I'll agree with that more than I will with the decision.
Yeah.
Leia forcing in the space, that was kind of odd.
Yeah.
I've already been yelled at about why I like that.
Don't worry about it. Just let.
You liked it?
I love that sequence.
That's exciting.
You should yell at him now.
But like, what do you want to see from this last outing for the Skywalker saga anyway?
I really hope that who's that cool guy, Kylo Ren?
Yeah.
Kylo Ren.
I hope that he just kills everybody.
Yeah, right.
I think that'd be really fancy.
We're all in agreement. We don't want him redeemed,
Yes.
but that's exactly what's happening because this is.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, yeah,
it's
yeah.
like poetry.
No,
It's
you're right.
George Lucas poetry.
I don't want him redeemed at all.
I watched a 40-minute documentary recently because episode 1's 20th anniversary this month, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hype for Endgame, I think the last time it was like this real was episode 1 because this documentary, man, people were going crazy. They were lining up for weeks ahead of time because there was no Fandango.
It makes sense. I wonder how explosive Star Wars would be. We were talking about how Endgame has been approaching Avatar's box office. I think if there had never been an episode 1, 2, and 3, and you just had 4, 5, 6, and then the year that 7 came out, that was the next Star Wars movie. That would have been
an actual like
bombastic.
40-year gap. That
Yes.
would be awesome.
That would have been
Yeah.
insane.
That would be cool.
Sure. Yeah. The prequels, love them or hate them, did do some damage to the franchise.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 All right, let's move on. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood had a trailer.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Wow,
Good
we're at the trailers.
film.
Looked good.
Yes, it did.
I'm excited for this film. I liked purely because I think of the first trailer is just a lot of fun and really weirdly cut and just kind of goofy. So I really like the first trailer. This trailer is definitely more like
tells you what's going on.
Normal trailer. This is what's
Yeah.
happening in the movie. I'm still looking forward to this movie.
I'm just really happy we're getting a buddy movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Bare
Yeah.
minimum. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love.
It looks like Brad Pitt is being enticed by Charles Manson.
Yeah, that's really exciting.
So
dude.
I fully agree with Ryan that I think this is a what he did with Inglourious Bastards, where
Oh, yeah?
they killed Hitler in a movie theater.
Oh, yeah.
Bruce Lee is probably going to kill Charles Manson, and I'm
dude,
way into
you do
it.
not
I'm
put
into
Bruce
that.
Lee in this trailer as much as it is, and not have him be a key character. Like, I'm totally expecting like total history subversion. Like, I don't know if you guys don't know, some Charles Manson did some real terrible shit, and Cheryl Tate got straight up stabbed and killed, and it's terrible. I bet that might still happen, but I also think there might be some serious, crazy Quentin Tarantino revenge going on in this movie.
So
Yeah.
we're working on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So a lot of the producers at our company have seen it, and I've only been told, because obviously they can't say anything. I've only been told, don't go in expecting much Charles Manson.
Okay,
It is
interesting.
It is not about that.
Okay,
Yeah.
It is about something else.
yeah.
So I was really shocked about that, because they've been playing up the Charles Manson thing ever since the movie was announced.
Yeah, they have.
To know that it's not really the main focus of the
sometimes
movie.
marketing isn't the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's our boy Balder from God of War.
Oh, is it?
Jeremy Davies. Yep.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
He's a ton of
super
makeup.
stoked.
Yeah.
They've buried the lead on him.
He's not even
being
in. He's on
the-
IMDb. Like he's fully not in the cast list.
Yeah,
which is really cool.
They've buried the lead on him playing that role.
Now, this is the one with Matt Smith as Charles Manson, right? He's actually in this one.
No,
and not
that's a
the other
different one.
right?
No, that's Star Wars.
That's Terminator Genesis. Is this Brightburn? No. I just really want another Tarantino flick.
It's happening.
Same here.
I
the
think
ninth film.
it's Margot Robbie. Yeah.
Yeah.
She should wear '70s glasses all the time.
Yes.
And
She looks fly.
Yeah.
Tarantino's been talking to a lot of the people at our company, and he is still adamant about that retirement after 10. He is.
All right.
Does the Star Trek movie that he may or may not make apply?
No, because he's not directing it.
Oh,
He's
okay.
actually not even writing it. He just had an idea. Someone else went to write it, and he's good.
Okay.
We'll see whatever happens with that thing.
Yeah, if it ever happens.
That'd be great.
Didn't they say something recently where it's like, hey, that's not off the table?
Yeah.
Yes, there's.
That's
a lot,
great.
Yeah.
Hey,
still
as long
talking
as it's
about
not off the table, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Guys, thoughts on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
It looks pretty fun. I really liked the trailer, but I was also after a bunch of like terrifying trailers, so it was a nice little break.
I'm so glad
Yeah.
we're talking about a horror movie, and you guys don't like horror movies.
Yeah.
This is Brightburn.
All right,
living
so
in
then
it.
the other trailer.
Whoa. I have something to say.
Okay,
Go
you
for
have
it,
something to
baby.
say? Go for it.
Yeah. Trailer's great. You guys know that Tarantino is one of my favorite directors of all time. So
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
I'll be honest, I did not know that.
Oh, really?
I will say that you repeat a lot of facts about your fandom, Ben, and that's not one I think you repeat a lot.
Well,
Nope. So
Tarantino's-
no, I didn't know that.
Kill Bill's my favorite Tarantino film.
It's a.
Yeah,
If I'll be
Kill Bill,
honest,
Pulp Fiction, and Inglourious Bastards. Those are
any
my
of them,
favorites.
any B could be number one.
And
They're all
Glorious
great.
Bastards is my number one.
So is it Quentin Tarantino and then Stephen King?
Oh, Marty.
Marty. Man.
Marty.
You're the best.
Showing
You're a
his
fan.
fandom.
You are a fan.
Son of
He's a true fake nerd fan.
I love it.
There's
Boom.
a door. I want you to know.
Oh, he got you.
Oh, he did.
Truthfully, Marty is probably Stephen King than Tarantino.
Yeah.
100%. Stephen King is his best friend.
No, but just
On Twitter.
But hearing, because I was a little nervous that they were gonna because one of the things I love about Inglourious Bastards is like, yes, it is them trying to hunt Hitler, but there's also a lot of planning. There's a lot of side stories, a lot of side characters that you carry and give
Michael
a shit.
Fassbender's in it for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, he's in it for 5 minutes, but also you care about about Daniel Bruhl's character. You care about
Until you don't.
and you care about Shoshana the.
Oh, Ava, Shoshana.
Yeah, you care about the Jew hunter who was played by
Christoph Waltz.
Thank you.
Ooh, yeah.
You care about them, and then you go into back like, yeah, we're also following the bastards.
I don't think you ever care about Christoph Waltz.
Well,
I'll
you
be honest.
care about
No,
what
no, no.
he's doing.
I think what he's
you
saying
care about
is
what
like,
he's doing.
you get invested in all of these characters, regardless of if they're good or bad guys.
Yeah.
Tarantino's really good at getting you to have a connection
Yeah,
on some level to every character he puts on his screen.
That I can
yeah.
go for.
So hearing that there's like the marketing is like, yeah, this is about the Charles Manson murders in 1969, and then hearing from you, Brandon, that it's like, yeah, don't expect a bunch of it. It's like, I'm okay with that. I'm totally fine because this is probably going to be another really good Tarantino film where he's going to introduce a bunch of characters that we're going to have a connection to and we're going to care or at least want to follow. It's like, hey, I want to know what happens to the end of that guy, and then maybe we will get a really cool killing Hitler in a movie theater scene. I freaking love that scene in Inglourious Bastards.
We did get some more World War II stuff in this trailer, and
We
I'm like,
did.
oh
Yeah.
my god,
where
if
Leonardo
Brad Pitt-
DiCaprio is doing his best Kurt Russell.
Oh my
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Who's also
who's
in
also
this
in this movie. I was like, oh my god, what if Brad Pitt's character is related to his World War II guy?
I think Brad Pitt. I think Kurt Russell is Brad Pitt's son.
It seems like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just really excited to see where Sam Jackson shows up.
Yeah, me too.
He'll be a narrator for something.
What if he's not in this one?
Oh, he'll be in it. Come
right.
on.
Real quick, did you guys know that Mads Mikkelsen did the Danish dub
I just saw
for
this.
Randall in Monsters Inc.?
Yeah, I just
Wow.
saw this.
The Mads Mikkelsen.
It's real
I didn't
weird.
know that.
I found it on Twitter. Thank you.
It's real weird. Okay, so the next trailer before we get to the big one is Star Trek Picard. There's not a lot in this trailer, but there is a lot if you know anything
it's
about
real.
Star Trek.
I thought this was like a fake ad.
Did
For
you?
wine?
You know, like what I mean, like
Yes,
in universe
yes.
fake ad for wine
Yeah.
or something, and I was like, what does this
It
have
is
to do
certainly
with
framed
Star
that
Trek?
way. It's certainly
What
framed
does
that
this
way.
have to do
It
with Star
looks
Trek?
like, yeah, it looks. I was like, is this a Star Trek commercial or
Yeah.
or
I
a
was-
San Antonio winery commercial?
And then
What
I
am
realized
watching here.
and then I realized they're talking to Picard,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
his winery, and I'm like, oh,
Like the second I saw Chateau Picard, the bottles of wine, I'm thinking, yo, is that real? Can I buy that?
So
I
This
want
isn't
some
an
of that.
April Fool's
So
IGN video.
if I may put on my Star Trek nerd hat, I got many hats, but my biggest one is Star Trek. It is.
that's a big hat.
Yeah.
I am not a
That's like a
Jesus.
That's like a 11-gallon hat. Would you say?
11.
So I'm a huge fan of Star Trek, but I don't really like the Kurtzman era of Star Trek. I think he's not the person to be doing this. But as far as I know, he doesn't really have a creative control with this series, and I don't believe that Patrick Stewart would come back if he didn't believe in it 100%. And I don't believe that he wouldn't come back if he thought this was going to do a disservice to Captain Picard.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that.
Patrick Stewart is not an actor who needs to do anything
No.
he doesn't want to do.
No, and I feel like he is protective of Captain Picard. That if they were like,
Then again, there's that emoji movie.
Yeah.
But
Hey man, everyone needs a new pool.
if
He was
were
not part of that, was he?
He
He
was
was the voice of
poop emoji.
He was the voice of the poop emoji.
No.
Patrick Stewart went into
Yeah.
a booth,
Sir
was given a
Patrick
big
Stewart.
check, and said, "Patrick, can you please say the word poop?" And he's like, "Poop," and then he got paid $1 million.
So, but there's a lot of little nuggets in this one. It looks like, oh Jesus, I have that queued up for like hours.
Brandon, stop.
There's a lot of interesting bits in this film, in this series. Sorry, it looks really good. It looks quality. Picard is back on his family vineyard. He is doing the Chateau Picard winery, which has been around in the Picard name for years. He looks surprisingly, he looks younger than his. So in the last episode of Star Trek, they do a flash forward where he is an old man on the vineyard again, retired as an ambassador, and this series is supposed to be set after that flash forward, and yet he looks younger because Patrick Stewart didn't age the same way that a normal human being ages.
Looks good.
He looks great.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talk of like something happened to him. He did a rescue. A lot of people are speculating that he did the rescue that they're talking about has to do with the Romulan Empire when the Romulan Empire was destroyed in Star Trek 09.
Well, they have implied that that's going to have a major effect.
Yeah. So we're in the 25th century. We're in the 25th century here. It is Kurtzman, so the story of Star Trek 2009 and the Star Trek Countdown comic book is canon. But he was an admiral. Something happened. He retired. Lost his faith in Starfleet. I don't know. I'm interested. I'm curious to see where this goes. I'm a huge Star Trek fan, so
I really just I don't think it's going to be this, but I really want this to be a completely different show. I don't want him to be up on a starship again, just doing Star Trek stuff. I want this to be completely different, but
Well,
I
they cast
don't.
a starship, so you're out of luck.
No, I know, and I'm like, oh, I already have a Star Trek show. I'm not watching. I don't need another Starship show. I would watch a Picard on the vineyard doing
Picard in the future.
Yeah, I just
show.
living a life. Like I don't want
it's
him
the-
on a starship
So
again.
like
It's the
stepping on grapes and like
It's
yeah.
the ambition of like DS9. Like Deep Space Nine was criticized in the beginning, like Star Trek isn't going to Trek; it's going to be set somewhere.
What was the name of his show on Stars?
Oh,
We both
the
watched
Seth
it.
MacFarlane show
Yeah.
that he did. The
Blunt
Talk.
Talk.
Yeah.
Blunt Talk was a fantastic show where he was just a news host. Doesn't have to be a news host, but that kind of show, in Star Trek with Picard. That's what I want this show to be. Just day in the life.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
This is also, Sparks, you went to Aspen when we did the Star Trek Insurrection, Star Trek Nemesis commentary way back when, last year.
That was a thing.
Is that movie the furthest point in Star Trek? And now this will be.
Right.
This will be the furthest point that we've ever seen. This is what I've wanted. Don't go back. Go forward.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I don't necessarily think that we need to see a character we've seen before. I would kind of prefer to go somewhere else. But we are going forward again, and I'm interested in where that can take us.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that the creative team for this series is good, and I hope that they treat Star Trek the way I don't feel they've been treating it with Discovery. I just can only hope that this is good, because this is Captain Picard. Don't screw up Captain Picard.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't know. We'll see.
They should just let Seth MacFarlane write it like he wanted to in the first place.
Orville on Fox this Fridays.
Renewed for
No, but
his
for real,
third
though.
season.
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
so excited.
I am excited as
I am
well.
happy
Good
that
for
Disney
Orville.
did not cancel Orville.
Yeah, do you guys watch The Orville?
Yes.
That's a great show, right?
Awesome show. I'm
Yes.
4 episodes behind, so don't spoil it.
I have the finale to watch, and that's
Same.
it.
Man,
We
I'm so
haven't
excited to watch
watched
the
the
rest of that
finale
series.
Yeah, I can't until my partner gets back.
I watched 3 episodes and then stopped. Not because it was bad, but just because I had other stuff to do. It is
No,
on my
I get
list.
you.
I
I
will
get you.
watch it
You wanna
eventually.
You want to
It's a-
watch good Star Trek? Don't watch
It's
Discovery.
It's a good show.
You
Watch
can't
it.
say
No,
you
watch
can't
the
say
Orville.
that.
Have you
can't say
watched
that.
Discovery now?
No.
I have watched enough of Discovery to know I don't like it.
How much of that then?
Oh.
How much?
Half a season now. Thank you.
Oh.
All right.
Thanks to Ryan, I was able to watch half a
But
season.
I hope you're
I
not
will-
lying to me.
I will say I did like the 3 episodes of Orville when I saw them, so I am really looking forward to go back to the show. It's just one of those things where something happened, I just stepped away from it, but I do want to go back to it.
Sure.
So I will go back
Orville's
to it
fantastic.
eventually, and thank God it's still on Hulu.
I was talking to Michael from Downright Nerdy Podcast, and we were talking about the Picard show because he's really excited because he's a huge Star Trek nerd, and I'm like, man, I don't know Star Trek. I gotta step into it. And he's like, well, visual effects are day, and I'm like, that doesn't bother me. I just gotta take the step into it because I feel like I won't really be invested in the Picard show until I actually
I can see that.
sit down and
Certainly
watch
gotta
the
watch
Next Generation.
Next Generation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I just feel like there is a misunderstanding of the meaning of Trek. Less so about the content of the shows, less so about anything like that. I just feel like it's being misunderstood. I don't feel like Kurtzman is the one to understand Star Trek. Much like I don't think Zack Snyder is the one to understand DC superheroes. I feel like it's the same thing.
I will say the poster that they released
Real
when
cool.
they released the teaser had me more hype than the teaser itself.
I thought the poster was
Because
cool.
the poster is his vineyard, but in the vineyard is
It's in the Delta
Starfleet
signal.
symbol. So the vineyard just makes that symbol, and it was real cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
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 All right, so let's talk about Terminator Dark Fate.
Yeah.
As one of your roommates,
Yeah.
get something out of the
It's all right.
refrigerator.
It's all good, Matt. Don't worry about it, buddy.
Terminator Dark Fate.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's a trailer.
This
So-
is the 6th Terminator film.
So I was thinking about this. I have before back in the day, like when because Terminator 2 was one of my favorite movies of all time.
Sure.
It still is up there. I really love T2. It's
It's
great.
amazing.
It is. T3, Sarah Connor Chronicles on Fox. I loved that show. I watched
Show's
it.
awesome.
I watched it religiously, and then I saw Salvation, and Salvation was something I wanted because after T3, I was like,
Live in the future.
Yeah, I want to see the war. I want to see the actual surviving.
Oh my god,
fighting.
Batman! Oh my god, this movie is going to be great.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Don't mess with my lights.
And then Genesis happened. And when I heard that Genesis was coming out, I didn't see it. I fell off the Terminator train. And now I hear that they're
T-train.
going to bring more Terminator back. I'm kind of done with Terminator, to be honest. I'm just like, it's the same.
I understand.
I
I
feel
understand.
like it's the same shit over and over and over again.
You're not wrong because we haven't been proven right yet. So like you're not wrong.
Sparks
the
and I
mo-
are in the minority. We like Terminator Genesis.
That's fine. That's fine.
I don't.
Sadly, I have only heard bad things. I haven't seen it, but if someone asks me to come over and watch it, I'm going to watch it.
You want to come over and watch it?
Sure, why not? But as of now, hearing that there's another effing Terminator movie coming out,
Not only that.
I'm done. I'm just done.
I want to say something that I love saying. This is the 3rd Terminator film
to
that
try
is
and reboot it.
No, to try and set up a trilogy of
Exactly.
Terminator films. This is the 3rd.
It's a trilogy of trilogies.
It's a trilogy of trilogy starters. which I find to be fun.
They've come out and said that's
They want
what
this to be a
they want
trilogy.
this to be, is a trilogy.
Yeah.
See, I was telling Ryan that I feel like I would feel a lot more into this one if I felt the same way I did about the Jamie Lee Curtis Halloween one,
Sure.
where I'm like, come back and do just this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
End it with Linda Hamilton and put an ending button on this, because I'm 100% there for that.
Yeah, me too.
You want to bring Linda Hamilton back? You want to be like, boom, capper.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so there. This being the start of a trilogy, not so much.
Yeah.
But I'm really into the visuals of what's going on.
The poster says, "Welcome to the first day of Judgment Day," which probably means the series is set after Judgment Day starts, like just after Judgment Day starts.
After the bombs start dropping?
Yeah, maybe. Be interesting. It's a place we haven't seen before.
That's true. I mean, the problem with Genesis, going back to Genesis, the problem with Genesis marketing is that it revealed to me that John Connor came back as a Terminator.
That's the movie's. That's marketing.
That's marketing's fault
That
for
was
sure.
marketing's
That
fault.
was such a bad
They should
idea.
not have
That
done.
was marketing's fault. And when I found out about that, I was like, well, this is going off completely off the rails. I mean,
Speaking of John Carter, where is he in this movie?
John Connor.
Yeah, whatever.
I mean,
Also a movie we like.
am I glad that they brought back the same actress, Linda Hamilton, right?
Yeah.
Am I glad they brought her back for another show? Yeah, I
Chuck's
love her as Sarah
mom.
Connor. Seeing old Arnold again? Okay, I can dig it. But I'm
as the not a Terminator.
As
As a human. He's the human that they base the Terminators on.
And there was a deleted scene in Terminator 3 with a Southern Arnold Schwarzenegger that got cut.
Yep.
That was real bad.
Oh.
Before I say too much, go ahead, Ben. If you're
I'm
finishing
just,
up.
honestly, I'm just done. I'm kind of sick and tired of Terminators. Just end the fucking
So
thing
this trailer
already.
didn't
Excuse me
get
for the
you-
F-bomb. Just,
This trailer didn't get to you at all?
no,
Okay.
it didn't.
Marty, Sam,
Same. I would rather like a sitcom with like Terminators, and they're just chilling and hanging out with a
Trying to be
destroyed like
humans.
How-
world, and just like let's have some coffee.
how familiar are you with the Terminator franchise?
I used to love it, and
Cool.
then after Salvation, I was like, okay, this is cool, and then Genesis happened, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
I've seen more Star Wars than I have Terminator.
There you go. That's all.
Roger
have you
that.
Have you at least seen T2, Judgment Day?
I think what she is saying is
She's
has
seen
no
no
Terminator.
Terminator.
Oh,
films.
never mind then.
I've seen one.
Which
I
one?
saw-
Sam, closer to the mic.
Sorry, I saw. Is it?
Was it the guy with the metal, like that melted, or was it like I'm a horror movie? Rrr.
No, it had like. The
Was it the
chick
one
in
where
it.
Arnold was bad the whole time, or was it the one where Arnold was good at the end?
Never mind. All
That's
right.
okay.
Things happen?
Yeah.
All right, that's fine.
There
Okay.
was a
think
chick
it's-
in it.
I think it's safe to say she is not a fan of the Terminator films.
Yeah.
To be fair, we're now at a point where 3 of the 5 of them, like, I know you guys like it, but 3 of the 5 of them are bad. So, like, I hope this is good. I will say, like, again, the visuals are cool. Like, the new Terminator design's cool.
I'm so surprised that you jumped to like 3 of 5 of them being bad.
What do you mean? I've never liked Genesis and I never liked Salvation.
No.
and
I know.
Terminator is bad.
I know. I just, it's been a while since I've seen some of them, but I'm like, there are other movies that I think are of similar quality that you seem to enjoy, and I don't know why, like specifically Rise of the Machines or Salvation. I can understand Genesis to a degree, but Salvation like hit below that bar for you.
It's been a while since I've seen it, but I remember just thinking it was kind of boring and
I
lame.
recently
Sure.
watched Terminator 3. It's not bad. It's not good. It's not bad. And I haven't seen Terminator Salvation in a long time, and I feel like it's kind of I kind of feel like it's the same thing. I don't think any of the Terminator sequels are bad.
I do.
I don't think any of them have come close to Terminator 1. Certainly not Terminator 2. But I genuinely think Terminator Genesis is a pretty good movie. I think it's fun and enjoyable, and it's got interesting stuff in it.
I mean, Salvation I enjoyed because it was an action movie involving killer robots, and I was totally
Salvation's better than Genesis.
Genesis. Is
I won't
the one
disagree.
saw.
I
Oh,
won't
okay.
disagree.
Okay.
All right.
No, I mean I like Genesis, but I won't.
I think Salvation is a better movie. I think the ideas in Genesis are cooler.
Well, the
Yeah.
reason why I liked Salvation was because it gave me I knew the plot of Terminator, I saw T2, I saw T3, and then Salvation was like, this is what happens after the bomb
Good for
fell.
Salvation trying to do something different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I liked it.
Yeah.
And then hearing that Genesis was going to do this whole weird time loop again, I was like, yeah, I'm kind of over it. And
Also, Genesis tried to do something different.
now, question: is that girl, the younger girl, is that supposed to be a young Sarah Connor?
I don't
The
think so.
Because
the Hispanic girl
I don't know
or
because
the white girl. Probably the white girl. If you're saying
I don't know because I hear Linda Hamilton say I was her. I was like, I don't know if that
Well,
was
there's
like,
one-
I think
literal.
she's just
I don't
supposed to
know.
be a younger girl dealing with
there's
Terminator
there's
stuff.
one
Could
there's
be.
one girl who's a Sam Witwer type Terminator from
Yeah.
Salvation.
Half
a
human,
Terminator
half-
doesn't know she's a Terminator.
exactly, which I'm actually okay with.
There's and then there's the
new design. The new Terminator design does look dope. I will say that.
The Hispanic girl throws the wrench in the whole thing because they're like, we need to protect her.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are questioning like, what happened to John Connor at this junction?
Yeah.
Ryan and I had, like, spitballed about this a bit, and I'm very into the idea of like a John Connor failed world, or a a world where
A timeline where he didn't. Where
a
he
timeline
died.
where the prophecy is not what it was. Turns out, guess what? The world still fights that war. John Connor didn't stop anything. John Connor's not the guy who saves them or anything, you know? All of this has been crap. I'm into that idea of Linda Hamilton living in a world where all this was done to her because of her son who was supposed to save the world, and he didn't. Guess what? He didn't. And she just has to live in that world. I'm actually way into that idea. And so I'm way into the notion that John Connor's not going to be in this at all.
And they bring back the Terminator 3 idea that Judgment Day can't be stopped.
Yes.
It's always going to come. Which in Terminator 2, it was supposed to be like, nope, we're done.
But then they wanted to make more money.
It was kind of like in the Lena Headey show, Sarah Connor Chronicles. They kept going they went forward in time.
Terminator 3 was a very influential movie on the Terminator franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it decided that, like, this is inevitable.
Yeah, Judgment Day is always going to happen. Like, even in the Sarah Connor Chronicles, they jumped because the Judgment Day was supposed to happen in like 2004 or something.
1994.
Or that show takes place in 2006.
Yeah, it's
Right.
because
And
they
it's
jumped
like-
forward.
Yeah, it's like,
time.
hey, Judgment Day hasn't happened yet. We can stop it. It's like, no, you can't stop it. It's always going to happen. You can always postpone it.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know.
I also am very into the idea, just from the look of this trailer, that they might be... I think Ryan and I talked about this a bit. I think Tim Miller and James Cameron might be picking and choosing all the things they like from the other Terminator sequels and making them canon to T1 and T2.
Yes.
And I think all the things from Genesis, things from Salvation, things from Rise of the Machines, all are going to show up in this film.
That would
I
be
think
cool.
I think they're pulling all their favorite ideas.
I
All right.
think so too. That's why I think there's a lot of familiarity in this trailer, is because we're seeing the things that worked in those Terminator sequels.
Yeah.
Am I going to need to see Genesis before I see this movie?
Not
No.
at all.
Okay.
Don't
You
even-
need to see Terminator 1 and Terminator 2. And you have.
I have.
But you will.
We're going to do an episode on it. Not the one movie, but the whole franchise.
Ah, shit. All right.
All right.
We got time.
All right.
I have found something to like in every Terminator entry.
That's good.
So I'm on board with this iteration. I do like bringing Linda Hamilton back.
So do
I do
I.
really like that idea of messing with the John Connor prophecy and saying, guess what, that was crap.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do hope the
That's kinda
second
what Genesis
trailer.
did.
Yeah. I do hope because this movie cost $200 million, and we haven't seen where that money's gone yet. I don't think. So I'm hoping the second trailer kind of shows us what the movie's about. Because I'm like, oh my god, you guys have a lot of money to make. This movie's got to be really good.
I also echo what Ben said, that I thought the new sleek design on the Terminator looks real good.
Yeah, like the black metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Gabriel Luna.
Gabriel Luna looks real good.
Yeah.
That Terminator looks scarier than any Terminator has to me since T2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That looks like a scary Terminator.
All right.
I'm into it.
Any last thoughts? Terminator franchise,
Last
guys?
words.
Nope. I
They're
didn't
just
think
shaking my
so.
head. All right, let's move on to our main topic.
Is it
Ooh.
Brightburn?
It's Brightburn.
Oh, it is?
All right, then time now for our review of Brightburn. Full spoilers for the latest from Sony and James Gunn and everyone involved in the creation of this film. I don't know all their names.
A lot of guns.
A lot of guns.
Lots
lot
of
of guns.
guns.
All three
Marc
guns.
and Brian and
by,
James.
By guns, we mean like the Gunn brothers,
Yes.
not like actual guns.
Yeah.
No.
Although there were that too.
This
There's a
is
few of them.
There were headshots.
so. This is Brightburn. Let's get
Wait,
into some
3.
initial thoughts. Ben, you first. Initial thoughts on Brightburn.
Oh, well, as a premise of if Superman was evil, pretty cool. As a film,
Yeah, Ryan.
Yeah, I think it's a perfectly adequate, decent movie. Like, nothing to write home about, but nothing to really, like, scoff at. Like, hey, man, if you have a free, like, Thursday night, you can do worse. It's pretty fun.
yeah.
Sam.
So I think the premise was really enticing, and then I just didn't like. I don't know. It wasn't bad. It
Marty.
was really gory.
It's really gory.
I really liked the premise. I was super excited for it, and then it happened.
Sparks.
Yeah, I echo what Ryan was saying. I think it was a pretty fine, like to good horror take on this. I think every time that they showed how brutal he could be with his powers to the murder of people, I was way into it, because I'm like, you just don't see Superman like this is Superman. You don't see Superman doing that.
Yeah.
In particular, what happens between him and the adoptive dad. I'm like,
Yikes.
that is
God.
intense, and I'm into
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, I was into it in like if you're gonna do Dark Superman, show how terrifying he could be if he wanted to be. This is Lex Luthor propaganda. I think you said that.
Oh, that's
Marty.
smart.
That if this film had ended with like a film by Lex Luthor, it would have been incredible.
I said it. It was me.
Oh, was it you, Sam?
That's
There you
awesome,
go.
Sam. That's nice.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same page with you all. I think, yeah, it's a pretty fine movie. Some good bits in it.
Yes.
Good performances, honestly. I think Katherine Heigl.
Oh, excuse me.
Elizabeth Banks.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I get them mixed up like
They are
Warren Ellis and
Dude,
what's
but
his
Katherine
name?
Heigl's like the worst. Elizabeth Banks is like, oh, that's so. I feel bad for Elizabeth
Oh,
Banks.
I don't even know who Katherine Heigl is.
27
It's okay, we'll look it up
Dresses.
later.
Whatever.
Oh,
Knocked
I
Up.
forgot about her for a split second.
Everyone
Have you seen
did.
Knocked Up?
I don't know. Have you seen Knocked
Have
I
Up?
don't
you?
know if I've seen Knocked Up.
It might be a long shot.
Damn, dog. I get it. I get it. Seth Rogen's in that movie.
Oh my god.
I love it. Anyway,
right.
Brightburn.
Yeah. Okay. What's her name again?
Elizabeth Banks.
Elizabeth Banks. I do like Elizabeth Banks, so I do feel bad that I can't remember her name. So I think she's good in it, honestly.
She is.
She's a James Gunn staple.
I like her a lot. I like Elizabeth Banks a lot. I like the guy who played the dad a lot. Also, I like the
Roy
kid.
from The Office.
Really?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I know him is Roy from The Office.
I don't even think.
Yeah, it was
I
so
don't
weird
remember
when he
Roy.
looked at the camera in this movie.
God.
Also, I liked the kid because kid actors are very hit and miss. But I liked
Oh
how
man, it's chilling when he's like, I feel like you want me to cry.
yeah, like there's some stuff like there. Okay, so one of the scenes I really liked about it is when he shows up from after he kills his uncle.
Sure.
And he has his shirt off. He's like talking to his parents, like saying, "Yeah, these kids asked me to play soccer." And then he's obviously he's lying through his teeth.
It's such a weird way to go about it.
Yeah, and then but
Such a
but still-
bad lie.
But at the same time, because when I was 12 years old, I made up these stupid lies like that all the time.
Well, I just like think about you can fly. You could have flown up to your bedroom, put on a different shirt, and burned the one with blood on it. What are you doing, kid?
Yeah, that's
He's
true.
12 though.
And
Yeah.
not
He's not
very
smart.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a 12-year-old who figured
he-
out how to
but he is
kill
smart.
people.
Also,
He's
this
smart,
just happened to
but
him.
he's not
No, I know.
wise. That's
Yeah.
what he is. He's like book smart.
He's 12, yeah.
But he's not wise.
Well said, Mr. Magnet.
Also, I'm more than double his age, and I wouldn't have thought to do what you just said. So, like, of course, you can like,
Right,
oh,
but-
you could have done. You could
Right,
have done
but
this.
they do set up in the beginning. So we're going to do the Superman comparison. He is Superman.
Mhm.
But he doesn't have a couple of Superman's things. He doesn't have super hearing, as far as we know. He doesn't have X-ray vision, as far as you know.
Man, if he had those things,
I kept
Yeah.
waiting
Oh.
for
Nobody
like
could
the
hide.
moment to happen where like he was staring through something, and then we see through it, but never.
As
happened.
far as we know, as far as the film sets up, he has Superman's intelligence, and Superman is one of the smartest people on the planet.
Yes.
yeah.
So like he could like he's smarter than us.
Yes. Although to be fair, Superman can be goofy at times. He's
like,
doofus. He's a doofus sometimes.
Really, that just spoke to a thing I had when I was watching the film. That I'm like, I don't know why you're doing the things you're doing the way you're doing them when you have the power you have
Yeah.
outside of this is a small budget movie.
Yeah.
Like
That's the only thing I could tell you. This budget was so small.
Exactly, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
stronger writers can come up with good narrative reasons
Yes.
to accommodate
Oh,
for
100%.
such budget things. And I just sat there and I'm like, I don't understand why you're hiding in his closet. I don't know what the goal was here.
I
were
feel-
you there to kill her?
I mean,
Wasn't she the more dangerous one to you than him?
Also, not only that, but the parents. I get Elizabeth Banks, like she's blinded by love.
Yeah.
But at no point does the fork come up again. Like someone, like he should have been like,
or even after,
"Honey, I saw him eat a fork."
yeah, or even it's like, hey, what happened to my lawnmower? Why is it
Hey,
20 feet
you saw
that
him.
way?
You saw him throw me into a wall, and
Yeah.
him killing my brother-in-law is the weird thing.
Yeah. Now that you think about it, kind of. But once
For me, if I felt like they knew he came from space, and like I always think it's not established if like they know how much what he can do and what
They
can
don't.
Well,
yeah,
also-
they don't at
No,
all.
well, also,
no,
Brandon-
good.
Brandon-
They don't. It seems to me that they are not aware of his capabilities until the moment that like
He's awakened.
He's thrown into the wall.
Oh.
And that's when it really becomes clear to him what he's capable of.
But the-
because he feels the force of what he does to him and has seen the chewing of the fork. But prior to that, I don't think they knew he could fly or do the eyes or any of
Yeah,
that.
but also another thing I just remembered is that there is a scene where he's like, he's never been cut, he's never bled. So they
Yeah.
do know
They
that.
know he's odd.
So probably him eating the fork wasn't that big of a thing because he's like,
That's how I
like when
felt.
Elizabeth Banks find out that, hey,
For sure.
we found a thing that could cut him because everything else can't cut him.
I still would have put in. I agree with you, but I also still would have put in a scene where the dad is like, "Yeah, he bent this fork with his mouth
Yeah.
earlier, and it's like, well, we know he does weird things sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, not to the extent that he has powers, but it's like, he doesn't get sick, he
Yeah.
doesn't bleed, he doesn't bruise.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Yeah, I see what
being able to chew metal in his mouth kind of makes sense. That's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But not to the extent like, oh, but he can fly and he can drop a truck on someone.
But to that, he then later tries to shoot his kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
was
but
real
why? You saw him eat a fork. You know he's never got.
Oh, he
like,
might not know he's
injured-
bulletproof.
Yeah, it might be because he's so close and it's a rifle. Like he's obviously also in his emotions. He's probably not thinking clearly.
And honestly, and at that same moment, in that same token, he is convinced of what he is at that point. He has become certain of it, and he has no idea that there is something that they know can make him bleed.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, "This is the best thing I can think of, and
Yeah.
I got to stop him because it's going to get worse."
Yeah.
I just think he would have like thought about it a little bit
Yeah.
more because like he saw what happened to his friend, his brother-in-law. Like
Yeah.
he saw that. Like that was clearly not just he caused a car accident. That was clearly like he like messed that guy's face up.
But he doesn't know that he's bulletproof.
Right. They
Right.
don't know that.
That's the thing. We as the audience know he's got Superman's powers. He's bulletproof, but they don't know. Like that's the only thing.
And they, to be fair, they also weren't there to see the dude pick the car up. Like he could be super strong, but like they don't know his capabilities.
Yeah.
As I'm
Like
learning
one of
now.
the things, like when they go see the uncle in the hospital after he died, was that they think he swerved, hit a deer or something like that.
Must have been some deer.
Yeah, right.
Because there have been accidents where people have hit like cars or animals
Could
on the
have done
road.
without the unhinged jaw.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yes.
loved it.
my
Oh,
God.
yeah.
Wonderful.
Oh, we needed it.
Great,
That's a
evi-
good effect.
great visual effects.
Oh yeah,
Nightmare
give me
inducing.
it. Give me it.
I'm not big on gore, but there are some things I do like. I like when he blows out the dad's brains. I like that. The unhinged jaw was
I actually, the thing that got me the most was the glass
in the
yeah,
eye?
The glass in the
Yeah,
eye.
that was
That was
great.
much. Yeah.
So I'm not a big fan of gore horror either. However, if you're making a horror movie that is specifically about what if Superman murdered people, you have to acknowledge.
There's that movie though.
Huh?
There's that movie.
Oh no.
Is it Brightburn?
That's Man of Steel.
You know what I mean. You have to like go. I wish they'd gone further in some cases, not on the gore spectrum, but like in showing the effectiveness of his, like how little effort he has to use to cause so much damage to the
Right.
human body, because that's what's so frightening.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
also-
I didn't feel scared. This movie's not scary.
Well,
It's-
I wasn't scared
it's-
of him. I was scared for the people around.
Yeah.
It's said to be the horror movie, superhero story, whatever you want to call it.
It has jump scares for sure, but like I wasn't scared.
But it's just jump scares.
Yeah.
There's nothing. There are every single time where it could be scary, they put in a string. They put in a jump scare string, so it really takes away the impact of just. There's no like it has great horror. There's no Conjuring type of horror. There's nothing like that. It's just jump scares, slamming into buildings, slamming into things, and
Loud noises after
noises.
loud noises after pure silence.
Yeah, I was scared 2 specific times in that movie,
yeah.
and it was both times that he went into the little girl's room.
that was
yeah. That
Yes.
I was
Oh my God.
scared.
I was
I was
like,
like,
oh.
especially the first time, because he was coming from a conversation like, yeah,
could-
sometimes you just gotta let that
I was
out.
like,
now,
no.
and I'm like, oh my God, where is this gonna go?
Yeah, I was like the second
It's
we
okay
get-
to go on to
like-
act on your urges.
Right.
No, it's not.
It's also like that scene was really funny because it's the dad trying to have the talk, and he's
Yeah.
like, it's okay to touch it. What? Your penis.
Right.
And then he's like, oh, so like I can do that whenever. He's like, oh, don't do it now.
Right.
He's talking about going to hurt a girl,
And then
oh my
it cuts
God.
to him in her bedroom, and that was when I was the most like,
Super
which
creepy.
also sucks because she was also like really nice to him in the beginning of the movie.
Where did she go at the end of the movie?
I think she just goes hangs out with the cops.
her mom got abducted. I imagine that she's
Her mom got
like,
splattered.
spending a lot of
Yeah.
time with her family and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Her
But-
mom did not get splattered. Her mom got cut open and
Oh,
dissected.
sorry, that's
Yeah.
right. She's in the. That's
Yeah.
I
right.
do
She's in
like
the
how
barn.
I do like how they finally do like bringing that loose end to tie that knot because
Yeah.
for a while I was like, yeah, but
Where did he put her?
Where,
Yeah.
where did she go?
He
But-
he like destroys the sheriff.
They clearly don't go into that barn enough if they didn't smell that body.
Yeah,
No.
seriously. The
That's
sheriff,
a hereditary situation.
The
right there.
sheriff death was rough.
That was a splatter.
slams to the
Again,
room.
like incredible, because I'm like, that's what would happen.
Yeah.
Like if he just goes full force,
Yeah.
you're just
your pieces
gone. You're
Your
roadkill.
pieces.
But going back to the first time he goes into Caitlin's room,
Yeah.
I was like, no, No. Like when he goes to her laptop and plays the old Elvis Presley or the old 50s love song, I'm sitting there going, please no.
That was one of
please
my-
don't turn this
and
into
so
what I think
creepy.
it's
And
gonna
I was
happen.
freaked out, but I was like, that's also one of my favorite parts of the film because I'm like, man, if you think about it, Superman could be such a dick to people.
Yeah.
He could just come in super speed real fast
like
and
this-
make their computer play music and creep them out.
And the second that like the curtain flew away and we saw him, she's like screaming. Her mom shows up. I'm like, oh no.
I was, no, Sparks is right. There, those two moments are scary, but only because you're like, I don't know if I want to see a 12-year-old rape scene.
Yeah.
No, but
one
I mean,
does.
like, but that's the thing is, like, it doesn't have to be scary to you. It can be scary just because of what you're seeing.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
those were scary.
Yes,
And-
but outside of that, to what I was saying about the scares, when he is killing the girl at the diner, when he's killing the dad, when he's killing the uncle, at no point was I scared.
Yeah.
Sure.
At least even for those characters.
Sure.
There's
There's a sense of inevitability to it.
yeah.
I would say there were scenes where I was it was tense. Like when Elizabeth
so.
Yes,
when she's
there
like
was
when
tension.
Elizabeth Banks, Tori the mom, she finally finds the notebook and she sees him drawing.
Yes, that was
all-
tense.
Yeah, and even when she's like
That was
trying
cool,
to
too.
go she's trying to go through the house without him seeing her because now she sees that he can fly, he can do all this crazy shit, and she doesn't realize until she cuts her own hand. She's
There's
like,
some-
"Oh, the ship can cut him."
There's some good scary imagery in that too. I mean, there's some good
like the red eyes,
there's
and the darkness.
still
I like
imagery
that.
there. Like when he's floating into the room, I thought that was a pretty effective image.
It did something that it bothers me in all horror movies, but especially bothers me in this one where she's hiding under the bed
Oh yeah.
and
Doesn't look under the bed immediately.
no, he leaves and she creeps her way out. And then it doesn't show her getting up and getting to the window or anything. He just comes back in the room, and it's like, oh, she magically disappeared. She's just as fast as him. And I'm like, nope,
Yeah.
no, I don't believe
was
you.
go- I was
He
gonna
would have
s-
seen her.
I was actually wondering if he was just like above. If he was just like above the bed, like wait for it.
Yeah, right.
There
I
you
thought
are,
that too.
Zap.
I thought that too.
I was waiting for that too.
that happened in The Curse of La Llorona.
La Llorona.
It's effective in that movie, actually.
She zapped them after they came out from it. I'm sorry. I do think that this horror movie does suffer a little bit in the tension and the scariness of what you're talking about, in the same way that a Superman film suffers if the writing isn't strong enough, in the sense of like he's the argument that he's too overpowered.
Sure.
It's the same thing. Your villain is so overpowered that it's like everybody's going to die. Nobody can stop him.
Yeah.
Like unless they happen to be able to get that right piece of the ship and get him. Like
Which I was surprised that didn't happen.
Yeah.
right,
I
but I
like-
mean, like,
I like
but
that.
but outside of that, like, I know that unless somebody goes to that ship, they're dead.
Yeah.
That's what I know, and
Yeah.
so there's an inevitability to it that takes away some of the tension because, like, you're
Yeah.
like every person who he decides to kill is gonna die unless they get to that ship.
It's like when Badger is Badger from Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
When the uncle when he sees him fly, and just nope.
That was great, yeah.
that was I love that moment.
Yeah, usually
Nope, no, no,
One of the
no,
things that-
no.
One
Time
thing
to
that-
go.
all right, so one thing that kind of it just realized that it kind of bugs me because he gets home safe and sound. He kisses his wife and he goes to brush his teeth. I would assume his bathroom is like right next to his bedroom, and when he turns the light on, he sees his nephew there, and he starts shouting at the top, not the top of his lungs, but pretty damn loud.
Well, it was a closet.
but
He
still,
walked into a closet and he's just hanging out in his creepy mask.
but still, if I was like, hey, what the hell? I would have woken up my wife and been like, why is he here? What's going on? And I'm pretty. I don't know. It's just.
It was interesting that he didn't talk to the wife, like, because it was like should have been around the
she
same
would have been
room.
asleep,
The
but I
staging-
would have. But if I saw, hypothetically speaking, if I saw my nephew in my closet, I would have woken up my wife immediately and be like,
What
why
if
is
that's
he
like an
here?
editing
right.
thing?
It's the staging, but it's the staging of the set pieces, of the major set pieces, the major horror set pieces of the movie. They feel disconnected from the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we've now had the sequence, we've led here. Here's the set piece, and now we go on.
It's awkward. That
Yeah.
section of the film is awkward.
And also,
Yeah.
and also, even when he does to go see his aunt, I would have been like, hey, why is your son here?
and lacking in clear goal.
Because
Yes, I agree with you that she would be texting them.
Because I thought that she was texting
I did
Elizabeth
too.
Banks
I
and
did
not
too.
her husband.
What a horrible aunt to not be like, okay, Brandon, come inside. We're going to call your mom.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
it's-
I was like, why? You would? That's your friend or sister? Like, I don't know. I don't know if it
That
was ever clear.
It was a sister.
Sister?
It was the
Sister.
sister to the mom.
Okay, I was just like, why? I would hope if my kid went to someone's house and I wasn't
To threaten
around,
them.
that they would call me or something, not
No.
just be like, go
No.
walk back in the dark.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
I will drive Millie myself and not contact you. Right, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. It doesn't make sense.
And I mean, it was established that these characters like clearly loved him,
Uh-huh.
and then all of a sudden that was just dropped.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least for the dad. Like the
No,
mom.
I think even for the uncle and the aunt.
Oh, we'll get them too. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
Here's
Like
a gun.
he was an important part of their lives.
Who gives someone a gun at a kid's establishment?
It's in Kansas
You didn't grow up in the South,
or the Midwest.
where I shot guns when I was
a hunter.
under 10 years old.
And he does say I shot my first buck with that rifle. So
Yep. That's not an issue.
Also, fun fact: this movie does take place in Kansas. You see a Kansas license plate.
That is fun.
And so it also says Brightburn, Kansas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I part of my issue with that whole section is with the aunt and uncle is that it's never quite clear exactly what the boys wants or is trying to do. Because I'm like, if he's here to kill her, he's
Just do it.
he's not hindered by anything. I don't
No.
know why he's hesitating. He's not even necessarily scaring her, so I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's just trying to. I don't know because there are parts of the movie where I think he's like he hears the thing from the ship, and I assume his mission, why he was sent away,
Take
was
the world.
was to take over the world. So I don't know if that was him like trying to fight against the quote unquote programming, but it just wasn't
But
clear.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is because as soon as he figures it out, take the world.
Yeah.
He is never once against that. He is always going for that.
Maybe
Yeah.
But he
except
doesn't-
for his mom
the
at the
second
end.
he says
Except for
take,
his
she
mom.
betrays
yeah,
him.
the second he goes take the world, and
He doesn't
he's
want his parents to know that he was doing that.
That's it. Except for the fact that he doesn't want his parents to find out. If he was hardwired to the take over the world thing, why does he even care?
Yeah.
He's the most powerful thing on the planet. Why does he even care what they think? There is some hesitation of like, I still kind of want to be that thing they love.
Yeah.
And my whole thing is, I wish they'd played more with the idea of there being any part of him fighting the sleeper agent program.
Like when he says, "I want to do good."
Yes, I wish that it either go hard that he is a sleeper agent and he's just there's nothing good left. He is that now.
Like-
Yeah.
Or play up that struggle, that kind of, I would have much rather like this was a horror movie, but it was a lot of moments of like, why did you make me do that? I had to do this now because of you. And it's like it's a kid caught in this frustrating point, and they're like concerned and they're freaked out about the situation.
Yeah, so I know the second scene where he's in Caitlin's room also freaked us out because she's on her laptop. Her laptop's on the first, and she sees him right there.
Whatever happened to Truth Justice the American Way type
No,
thing.
Truth and Justice.
She's
Modern
definitely
era.
a Lois Lane.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But you see her, and that could have been the part where he's like, "Look, I can do these things," and this film could have gone from that point could have gone two totally different ways. Whereas he tells her, like, I know I can do these things. You know I can do these things. I'm really sorry I hurt you. I don't want to hurt you. I am so... He gives the flowers as like a peace offering, and then he tries to be good, but the programming gets him. Or it could go straight the way. He's like, yeah, you know these things, but I just want to see you pray once more time. Zap, fly away, kills your mom. Instead, he's like, oh yeah, don't worry, I'm going to take care of your mom, and he kills her anyway.
I want to real quickly, as I have it in my head,
Sure.
if you don't mind. There is an interesting bit of foreshadowing of the credit sequence that I did enjoy. I've seen this movie twice, unfortunately, and I
Unfortunately,
I kind of wish I didn't. But when I was watching, I would have rather seen Aladdin twice. What I'm trying to get at. When she's looking up Meteors, Kansas 2006 or whatever, there are six lights in the sky. At the end with Michael Rooker.
Evil Justice League.
Yeah.
At the end of with Michael Rooker, he shows 6 pictures of what we can only assume is an evil form of the Justice League.
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
baby, I'm into it.
he does.
So it looks like
Super cool.
It looks like there was at least the intention that this was meant to be an invasion force.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do wish that there was more clear intent of what the boy was feeling. That's actually a good moment, that second scene, because it still does imply that level of like, I can still be a good person.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he cares about the girl and he wants to say, I'm going to show people how special I am. You're going to see it too. But
Yeah.
he doesn't have a strong moral conscience anymore.
Right. He doesn't. He's. You can see the conflict within him, but instead it's just he's monotone. He's like, oh no, I know what I'm here to do now. I mean, I don't hate that. Like after that scene, I don't hate that for the rest of the movie. Like when they tell him that, hey, your uncle's dead. So what do you want me to do? Cry? He's just monotone the whole movie.
I also like the delivery of like, I would never hurt him. I loved him.
Yeah, which obviously didn't. But I actually like that. But at the same time, it's one of those things. Is like this movie could have been a little bit more. But I don't hate where it's going. It could have been more.
I wish.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes, I wish the movie would have given us a more clear read on the character of the boy, because I really don't know what he wants at any given moment after the programming happens.
Yeah.
And I don't know what he's going for, and I don't know what he's feeling. Whether and some of that is like, oh, want to keep it suspenseful, but like I could, if I'd had a window into him, I could have cared more about, like, I wanted to feel, oh man, don't do this kind of feelings, or like
if there was like
there was just
one
nothing.
line.
There was nothing to latch into with him except for like that one moment right at the end with Elizabeth Banks, and that's really all you get. And I wish there was more of that. I wish there was more of him like struggling with it. Honestly.
I agree. If like, give me one line where like you do see him struggling. It's like, Mom, I'm really trying.
Yeah.
I can't. Like, just give me one line. I'm like, okay, I understand. You're really trying. You can. You're a bad
But
guy.
the second-
but like, it's so just like on the line and never gives you a right answer. I'm like, but like, what do you want me to feel?
Like the second Elizabeth Banks tries to stab him and he takes her up and he's staring at her, I'm like,
It's a taste of betrayal.
what are you gonna do?
Drop her.
Yeah, and he just drops her. I was like, oh, this movie did not, because I was fully expecting.
Truthfully, I appreciated the way it ended.
So
So do I.
I like that moment.
That
I
was,
was-
like my favorite part.
I was
Yeah.
fully expecting it to be like she stabs him, she's traumatized, and she just like becomes a little hurt.
And now there are 5 more.
But her actually dying and even that plane just crashing into him, I was like, that is some dark shit right there. And him just like eating the cookie. You see Michael Rooker, great cameo by him, by the way, and like showing all these,
doing his best Alex Jones.
That's what I said. Yeah.
But still, him being like the quote unquote conspiracy theorist who was actually right about these people, about Brightburn, about all these people, and even the news footage afterwards, like, hey, he goes on and shit's gonna hit the fan. So I kind of liked how it wasn't a good ending.
Would you guys see a
by
sequel?
good ending? I mean it doesn't end well for anyone except for him.
Yeah.
Would you guys
Brandon.
watch a sequel?
I'd watch it.
Without telling me like what the premise is. Just like, do you want to see a Brightburn sequel? Yes, because I
You know
do
what?
think the ending's silly enough where I'm like, yeah, okay,
You know what? I will. Yeah.
I'd watch it, but I don't really want it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I want to see a Brightburn sequel, but I would want to see that universe.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's,
you know, like the 6 pictures. I want to know.
You want to see like evil Wonder Woman?
Yeah, like I want to see what's
Strangles
happening
with
with
a
these
lasso.
other people.
Kind of like a Cloverfield or
Yeah.
What We Hope for a Quiet Place.
yeah, 100% like
I
that.
don't know
Yeah,
what those mean.
Do 5 more movies individually telling their horror movie stories, and then do an evil dark Justice League.
The
But
Dark
then-
Universe.
Of them taking
Oh,
over the
Lord.
world.
Welcome
Oh,
to a
I
dark
think-
universe.
Zack Snyder would be so mad because he's like, "That's what I was trying to do."
And then we'd all be like, we know you're just shit at it.
Yeah, this actually is more.
But
up
they
his
made
alley.
different characters, Zach.
I think one of the things that kind of bothered me when I was watching this movie was the fact that me personally, I was like comparing this to Superman. I mean, I know the premise. It's evil Superman. But
Well, you're supposed to. A lot of the imagery in this film is meant to.
Yeah, you're
I
meant to
think-
know this.
I think
is
because
Superman.
I'm just so ingrained in the tale of Superman and seeing it
It's
done.
like Red Sun. Like they
even-
wrote this story. They wrote the story with the intention of having the audience make the parallel to Superman.
Yeah, but even in Red Sun, Superman was still a hero. This one is just a murdering psychopath.
Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah, it's like what if Superman
That's
was a murdering
why they
psychopath?
made it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you can't get on board with that, then this movie's not for you at all.
Yeah.
Because it is
True.
what if Superman
Yeah.
was a horror movie monster.
Right.
That's what it is.
I don't know. It's something. It just bothered me. It's probably just my own personal thing. The movie itself, I thought it was fine. I did enjoy it. I do like how.
I think that you just don't get a read on like
Yeah.
enough of the character stuff to connect with anything, and
Mhm.
because of that, it just you get what it is, but it's like it's like the kind of the most shallow exploration of that.
Mhm.
It's a cool costume.
I do love. There are a bunch of shots in this movie that I really liked. I even leaned over to Ryan a few times, like, "Yo, that's spooky."
Yeah.
Like where Brandon is just floating, and you see
What?
the red of his eyes.
Mhm.
Shut up.
Yes,
I love those shots.
I
Like,
mean, because that stuff is effective even when it's Superman.
yeah. Even when the ship lights were flashing, it was kind of like a seizure inducing a little
I
bit.
really liked the evil devil voice. That's emanating from the ship.
Yeah.
You
Wow.
are not alone.
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, but what I also liked the scene where Elizabeth Banks she gets the thing from the ship, and the lights are just constantly flashing red, white, and it goes. I was fully expecting
when
him
she's
to
when
be
she's out of the
behind.
hangar though. When she's out of the hangar though, I was kind of done with it. I was like, look, if he's not going to pop up behind her, stop doing this. This is getting tiresome.
Oh yeah,
I think we're wrapping up. What do you think?
I really like the moment where he finds out about who he is.
Yeah.
And she's explaining it to him, and they play that little music that's, not the Superman theme, but, very like optimistic music, which this movie doesn't use a lot. And it's like, oh, yeah. And it's like, oh, you were sent here for a reason and all this. And then they just crush it and ruin it. And I'm like, yeah.
He basically did the same thing that they did in Man of Steel. Who am I? You're my son.
Yeah.
Like, I really like that they did that.
No, I like it because
but with
it's
a different outcome.
You lied. You're a liar.
Yeah, and he goes in the house and just wrecks all their family.
And see, that's another like image into like he's clearly not just the sleeper agent. There is part of who he is in there.
Yeah.
And I wish more of that was clear because it's a very blurred line of I don't know when he is that person and when he isn't.
Yeah.
Because he gets
I'm not even so sure.
gets genuinely tantrumly emotional.
I mean, I'm not even sure if he's meant to be a sleeper agent, but more so just an evil dick.
But he like they say that he was a good sweet boy until
until
they
this
shifted
point.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like they say that he was wonderful. There were no issues.
Like, even
he
before-
was Clark Kent.
Like before he snuck into Caitlin's room the first time, she turns around and she gives him like that. Oh yeah, you're cool. I like this Marquette
but
smile.
there's so much in the film, like when he's getting bullied or things like that. Even getting like mixed signals. There's so much in the film that almost make it look like we're meant to interpret it as he's being bullied into becoming this monster.
But they didn't lean into that hard.
But they don't lean into it exactly.
And he mainly just killed people that he loved. Like,
Or he killed people that he killed
with the exception of her mom. Yeah.
Caitlin's mom. Yeah.
My final thoughts will be this movie, as someone who's seen all of James Gunn's movies, this feels like a James Gunn movie, but like a cheap James Gunn movie in terms of quality.
Which this was not directed by him.
No,
It's not directed by him.
but his entire family had everything to do with it, and his name.
Except for Sean. I don't think Sean's on
Yes,
this one.
Sean showed up at the very end in like one of the producer things.
Well, he does.
Yeah, I think so.
Never mind then.
But like James Gunn loves gross rated R shit. Besides Guardians, he's only made gross rated R products. So I could see why he'd want to produce this, get his family involved. Hey, the guy who directed this, it's his first feature, and he helped.
Well, his brothers, the people who wrote it, came to him and said, "Will you produce this for us?"
Oh, very nice, cool. That is cool, and I think it is a good enough idea. I don't think the execution was there, but like, if this is like, hey, like the Gunn Juniors, like, hey, we want to try to be you, James Gunn. Like, if they want to try to do this is a good first step, I think.
Yeah. Ben, final thoughts.
This movie's fine. There are parts of it I really enjoyed. I do like how it's. I mean, even though I had problems with it when I was watching the film, I kept thinking about like, oh no, it's supposed to be different from Superman because it's obviously not Superman.
His name's Brandon.
Yeah, his name's Brandon.
Wait, what?
Shut up.
No.
And it's fine. It's a decent. I mean, yeah, I feel like the horror is in the tense moments. I mean, yeah, there are jump scares. One of them certainly did get me. God damn it!
I know it got you, Sparks, once. I saw you jump. I don't remember.
I was reaching for some popcorn and I just wasn't ready for it. I
Yeah.
I don't mind jump scares.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you get me,
Yeah.
good for you.
Yeah, they got me once, but there are some good tense moments here. Calling it a horror film, yeah, I could see it, but it's still a fine movie.
Ryan, what would you rate it?
I give it a 7.
7?
Yeah.
Ben, what would you rate it?
7.
Sparks.
Also a 7?
What would final thoughts? Anything you want to add before?
No, I think I covered it pretty well. It's just generally like I think the thing that would have shifted this into like a really good movie is just being able to connect to the character of the boy a lot better.
Yeah.
Having some kind of connection to like who he is, or go the opposite direction, go the hard like no, he's like emotionless and moralist, and make that so frightening, and have us connect to all the other characters who are his victims.
Yeah.
But either way, I think there just needed to be more audience to character connection with either the victims or him.
So you say 7?
Yeah.
Marty, what would you have to say about it?
I mean, I still love the premise. I think it's amazing, and I think everything that he did was really cool. But I just the relationships were just they got dropped, and that really frustrated me. And I kind of was hoping that like Elizabeth Bank that character would have just kept going on, and like you're my kid, even though you're a psychopath, and. It just, I don't know, like, it kind of went to a womp for me.
Mm-hmm. Sure. What would you give it a rating?
Rating?
You can have your own rating. We do 1 through 10, as you know.
I mean,
it means different things for everyone.
I mean, for me, it would be like a 5.5.
Yeah, that's not far off from us. Yeah.
Sam.
I agree with a lot of things that were said. I felt like everything kind of felt flat. I was terrified for the little girl. Terrified.
Heck yeah.
like especially as a parent, just like seeing him struggle and then like seeing him go and potentially hurt another kid, I was just like, no. But outside of that, it just felt like everything just was kind of, I really missed that relationship, especially since they built so much upon it in the beginning. The fact that they just let it go was a really big bummer, and I think I would rate it probably a 5.
Wow. I think in some ways the movie's at a detriment of relying too much in you placing the Jonathan Kent, Martha Kent, and Clark Kent relationship on these characters so that they can just do what they want to do, and the relationship is implied, and you're like, it's like that. Think of that. And I'm like, no, you got to show me
us.
this relationship.
Yeah.
Don't just say, oh, but think of like, it's just like that.
As you like to say, show, don't tell.
Yeah.
Yes.
Real quick, Brandon, we didn't touch on it too much, but I mean, we did, but like, I really, really like the final scene with the dad in the forest.
Yes, I
Because like,
do too.
I'm going
Yes.
to take my son on a nice camping trip. Mom,
Stares
don't
him
worry, Mom.
right in the eyes.
And he shoots him as his back is turned, and then he turns around, and it's like, wow, my dad just shot me. Wow, I'm burning this fool to the ground. And I was
Yep.
like, that's probably my favorite scene in the movie.
Yeah.
I echo a lot of what you guys said. I think we're all in pretty much agreement of this one, so I'm not going to repeat really anything. You know what? I don't know. A 7 out of 10 seems too high. A 6 out of 10 seems too low for me. But probably
6.5.
I think I'll go 6.5.
I'll do that too.
Go for it.
6.5 it is. All right. Shall we get into our book club?
Yep.
Whoa. Hey, welcome to the Fake Nerd Comic Book Store. Can I help you find anything today?
Yeah, hi. Do you have any books?
Can you be more specific?
Anything readable?
Right then, time now for our book club. It is my turn once again as Marty loses his headphones.
Where'd they go?
We are back, and I chose Godzilla: The Half-Century War. I said last week it is my favorite comic of all time. That has been reinforced with this 4th reading of this book. I love this book. I adore this book. Basically, the premise is it takes the so as we've mentioned before, Godzilla is in 3 eras. The Millennium era of Godzilla, the 2000-2004 era, took the idea that only the first film is canon to the franchise, and then a second, and then a sequel is then stemmed off from it in its own continuity. This takes that idea. So it opens in 1954 when Godzilla first makes land, and we meet our 2 main characters, Ota and
Ken.
Ota and Ken.
Kentaro.
And they are there when Godzilla first makes land, and then from there, it's a whole new continuity where we jump about 10 years every issue, and it's about this guy's 5-century war. This 5-decade war. Thank you. Half-century war with Godzilla. Ota's half-century war with Godzilla. So what do we all think about this one? Let's go around the horn. Ben.
Go, Ben.
Oh, okay, I guess I'm going first. I have read this book multiple times. I absolutely love this book. I think James Stokoe is in his prime with this book.
It's written, drawn, inked, lettered.
Everything he did.
No, there was a colorist who helped. Don't deny her. Her name's Heather.
Let me see.
Yep. No, I'm right.
Well, I'm going to get a full name. Heather.
As he's flipping through.
Let's see.
Colorist.
Colorist.
Help by colorist.
Oh,
right at it.
Color Assist by Heather Breckel.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
But James Stokoe did a great job, and this is one of the stories of Godzilla that I love that. I just love the perspective, because a lot of the films, like the Godzilla films we know and love, are from like one person in that one movie. Godzilla fights one monster, and then we never see that person again in another Godzilla film at all. Whereas this one follows the guy who was there when Godzilla first landed all the way to the end. And I really, really like that.
Yeah, I just want to... So we make fun of his screonk, his onomatopoeia a lot, is screonk. What James Stokoe did for this book, and he's the only one to do this, he traced the waveform of the roar, and that's his
what
roar.
That is.
Yeah, it's the waveform of his roar.
It's super cool.
So when you hear us trying to make a penis, that's what we're doing.
We're trying to do Godzilla Screonk.
Yeah. And he designs the monster. My favorite design, the Millennium Era design. Sorry, Ben. Just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, but this is probably my favorite Godzilla book, and I remember after I was reading your copies of Half-Century War,
issues, yeah.
Godzilla Rulers of Earth came out, and I bought that whole run, and then after I was done with it, I was like, man, this why did I do this to myself?
And Rulers of Earth has Godzilla versus Zilla, so there's some merit there.
But that was issue 2, and issue 2 sold out, and I could never find it, so I never was able to get a whole set.
Ryan, what do you think about this one?
I thought this book's a lot of fun. The art is the standout. It's really cool seeing all the all the Godzilla guys come up and fight again on comic book form. It's a lot of fun.
You guys flipped through it, so you really only have to say about the art.
I read the first 3 issues.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so that part I really liked.
Yeah.
And I was kind of bummed that I wasn't able to finish it because I have no idea
how
where
it
it's
ends.
gonna go.
We'll probably
And I'm
spoil the
super
ending for you. I'm sorry.
super excited for spoilers.
He likes spoilers a lot.
Okay. Sparks.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I remember years ago I loaned this to you.
I guess.
Yeah. And you had a different reaction, and it broke my heart a little. I'll be honest.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think I read it.
Really?
I'll be honest with
Because when we did Kingdom of Monsters, which was my first Godzilla book club years and years and years ago, when we first started the show, what years? 3 years. You said, "Is this the book you made me read?" And it wasn't. It was this one.
you.
So maybe you just didn't read it. I guess not.
I very well may not have.
So as Ben said, we know that we get to know these characters through 50 years.
This is the X-Men movie formula done right.
Yeah, really, because you feel like there's time that's passed.
Thank you for making that point because I was going to.
Yeah.
And you did it, and I'm so happy that stands out to you, too.
Absolutely.
The major bad guy of this book is called Dr. Deverich.
He was my favorite part of this.
Before you go too far, can we just hold on that point for a moment?
Sure, definitely.
Because this is a great example of how you can't just say, this movie takes place a decade later, and just be like, oh, the characters are like totally the same, and no real change has happened, and they haven't grown as people.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
dope.
What? Who thinks that? Anyway, this book is a great example of how that's just total rubbish.
Yeah, so we meet Dr. Deverich.
Issue
and,
3, I want to say, when we first meet him.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
is
definitely late into it.
It is issue
It's
3. So he
Correct,
said,
Marty?
Yes.
Yes.
So I have the deluxe hardcover, and there's some bits in the back here. It's really, really interesting stuff. One of the bits is him saying, he has the page where Dr. Deverich is introduced. It says, Dr. Deverich, the evil protagonist who may or may not be named after an amalgamation of two certain American filmmakers who made a shoddy monster movie in the late 90s.
That's exactly what I assumed before you told me that.
Deverich and Roland Emmerich.
Yep.
Who are they talking about?
Dean Devlin and Roland Emmerich.
I-
If you're being serious,
What
if you're
movie-
not, screw you.
Godzilla.
Is it Brightburn?
It's Brightburn. The art is definitely a standout in this book. But there's a lot of really fun, quirky characters. A lot of really cool. Like if you're a Godzilla fan, there's masers, weird drills on things.
Yeah, that doctor's cool.
There's a whole team assigned to each monster.
Yes.
And I sat there and I went, why isn't Godzilla an anime? How is there not a Godzilla monster anime? No. I'm aware. How was there not an anime before that was about teams of dudes assigned to specific monsters in the Godzilla universe?
Because it's too good of an
such
idea.
an anime show.
Yeah,
that is.
And I'm like, how is this never? God, that Netflix anime really ruined.
Yeah.
It really did.
That
when,
whole prospect.
When the Netflix animated movies were announced, I was like, oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah.
But they didn't do any of that.
The
By the way,
anti-megalosaurus force.
By the way, an element of this book may have found its way into Godzilla King of the Monsters if the trailers are anything to go by. In King of the Monsters, it looks like Vera Farmiga is trying to control the monsters with waveforms.
That's what I thought. That's
what
what I thought. Yeah.
Deverich's thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
And so
She's trying to gather them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so Deverich the plot of this is that Dr. Deverich creates a device that can that can guide monsters to a place.
Sure.
And he manages, and he turns it up too powerful that Space Godzilla shows up.
That's sweet.
And then King
He
Ghidorah
builds
and
one
Gigan.
too big.
He builds one too
Yeah.
big, and Space Godzilla shows up. And my favorite issue is actually issue 4. So I'm sorry, Marty.
Yeah, that's where Space Godzilla shows up.
So Space Godzilla shows up. Mecha Godzilla is there. So it's 3 Godzillas fighting each other. It's awesome. And then it's so powerful. It's still so powerful that
The last panel of that issue, you see the silhouettes of Gigan
Yes.
and King Ghidorah flying past Jupiter. on the
Hell
way
yeah,
around.
guys.
Yeah.
Sounds amazing.
the one that going back to all the teams dedicated to different people.
Yeah.
These hippies are assigned to Mothra. And I really love this Mothra flies over. It's like, haha, righteous, get him, Mother Mothra.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
Not only that,
It's
their
awesome.
their hippie van, it has Mothra,
Mothra
on it.
symbol. There's a lot of cool, like them being this task force assigned to
There's
these
also
monsters.
some
A
great
lot of
splash
graffiti
pages.
art.
There's a lot of great splash pages, like the one I'm holding in issue in issue 3. With just like, I mean, look at this. There's Kamunga, Rodan, Mothra, and then Godzilla shooting his atomic breath. Sludge monster, Hedorah.
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 Hedera.
Yeah. So like each issue is set in a decade, but it pays homage to the Godzilla films of that decade specifically. So, the second issue, Anguirus, is the second monster that is introduced in the franchise. So that's the second monster that's introduced in this book. The only in the 70s issue, the third issue, it's mostly monsters that were introduced in the 70s, with the exception of Batra.
Yeah, Batra.
Technically not supposed to be there, but the inclusion is welcome because I like Batra. I like Batra's
So
design.
do I.
Do you mean Megaguirus Light?
Yeah,
Megaguirus.
Cool.
that's fair.
Just checking.
And then in
I'm a nerd.
issue 4, Space Godzilla, because that was the 80s. And then we get to 2002 as the final issue. And the final issue has the black hole cannon, which was from Godzilla versus, I want to say Megaguirus. Not Megaguirus. Godzilla versus Megaguirus is when they fired the black hole cannon.
Boy, it's been a while.
And then the Godzilla Tokyo SOS Godzilla design. What's funny about that one is that in this book, they're like, wow, look at this new Mechagodzilla.
Yeah, they say there's
They
some
say
bits
there's
of a
bits of
Godzilla.
Godzilla.
Yeah.
Which is
That's
actually
cool.
a thing.
No, it's very knowledgeable of the franchise and makes a lot of good references.
Yeah, James Stokoe clearly loves the franchise and put a lot of that love into this book.
More specifically, I just love the idea of a dude who we follow across a span of like 50 years as he has these encounters with Godzilla.
Yes.
And where that leads him and what that's left him with.
Thinking
because-
it's like personal.
Yeah.
I'm
Him
like,
just making it personal, and Godzilla's like,
Doesn't
man,
give
I don't
a
even.
shit.
Yeah, and his whole thing in the last chapter is he's like, you're gonna see me.
That's what's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the final confrontation.
He helps. Like he's like, all right, Godzilla,
It-
we're gonna fight.
It reminds me a lot of that moment from. One of the Godzilla movies where the guy goes up and stands on the rooftop and shouts at Godzilla.
Godzilla 2000, and then he crushes the building, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's Godzilla 2000.
He
There's also
yells,
a little bit of
Godzilla. Godzilla roars
That
and
is
squishes the
that
building.
is not the only movie where that's happened.
No, there's a
though.
couple of them.
I'm thinking of the one where the dude had like it's a dude who we did track through like 3 movies from King Ghidorah into Mothra Battle of Earth into another one, and he goes up to the roof and he shouts at Godzilla, and Godzilla just like turns for a moment and then just blasts the whole building he's on.
That's great.
Yeah,
and that was a personal like thing because we
Okay.
tracked that character through 3 films, which
they
almost
did
never happened.
we did do that.
It has happened.
In the
Oh,
Heisei era, there's like 3 characters that are the same through most of those films.
Oh, well, it's okay. Truth be told, it has been a few years since I've
I'm in
last
it.
seen
Right.
a Heisei era film.
So in the final issue, Mechagodzilla goes to help Godzilla fight Gigan and Ghidorah.
King Ghidorah.
And he's like coughing. He's got like cancer, and he's just yelling at Godzilla, who's not looking at him. He's like, "Look at me!" And he just smirks and is like, "What's the
Oh,
line?"
you
It's like,
stubborn.
stubborn to the very end."
Because he
Typical Godzilla.
Because he just won't look down at him.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm shouting at you.
And then they supposedly both get sucked into a black hole, never to be seen again. However, the final
Spikes.
Do you see the spikes?
page, possibly Godzilla has lived.
Yep.
Yeah.
A Godzilla.
I
anyway.
really love.
Because you can't kill
I love
the force
that
of
ending
nature.
because
Or-
it is.
What I kind of took from that is that could be the ending to Godzilla in Hell.
Maybe. What were you saying?
What
Right.
was I saying? Oh
What
yeah.
you like about the
Sorry.
ending?
I like that it's kind of like a downer because you spent like 50 years with this guy, and Godzilla doesn't give 2 shits. And
Yeah.
why would he? And like his final line's like, Psh, "Godzilla, stubborn as always, my old friend." He's like, "I'm not your friend, boy." I'm just like,
Yeah.
"I'm not your friend, guy."
He's like, I don't even know you.
Yeah.
I really like in the like
You took everything from me.
Who?
I don't even know who you are.
You will.
I really like in the 4th issue when they're in Stockholm or something. They're in Russia before.
No, the
Space
4th
Godzilla.
issue, they were in
No,
India.
sorry. India.
India. Okay.
There you go.
So before Space Godzilla shows up, and they're just like, and the narration is like, yeah, we basically just became hurricane watchers, just told people to get out of the way.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's actually
Yeah.
that scene, that part of the book has my favorite line where Oda lights up a cigarette and Ken's like, "Dude, I'm trying to quit." He's like, "We chase an irradiated monster for a living, and you're scared about getting cancer from a cigarette."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then he gets cancer.
Yeah, I just really like the idea that this book is not the only one, but it definitely leans heavily into the idea that these monsters are forces of nature that you cannot control, you cannot beat.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the line in Pacific Rim. In a Jaeger you can fight a hurricane. Like it's like Pacific Rim takes that idea further to where you can beat back the hurricane, whereas this one is like, no, once a hurricane shows up, get out of its way.
This is tangentially related, but I did just watch also a documentary on '98 Godzilla and how
Is it a
much
documentary?
Oh, it's like a 20-minute. Sorry,
Okay.
it's just a 20-minute video. It is a documentary, but
I'd love to watch an hour and a half documentary.
no,
about
I know,
that movie.
right? But pretty much everyone at Toho hates that Godzilla movie. And the quote that I saw that stuck with me more is like, the Americans can't get behind a creature that they can't destroy with their own weapons.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh wow, that's so powerful, because like of course missiles and like destroy Godzilla in the American movie, but he's immortal basically. And
You
I'm like,
just brought
that
up-
is such a good representation of America versus Japan.
That's
Right.
what
Yeah.
that's what
Right.
the 2014 film does well.
Yeah.
Right. You just brought up something that I really want to talk about, because issue 2, when I was reading this last night, is probably one of my favorite issues in this story, because it has some historical significance.
Is that the Vietnam one?
Yes, it takes place
Yeah.
in Vietnam. It takes place about 11 or 15 years after Godzilla first made landfall.
It's 13
in
years.
54. And then you have that one annoying general who's like, no one can withstand the amount of bombs we're going to unleash on that valley. Godzilla walks away without a single
Yeah.
scratch.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love that, because it has some historical significance, because it's during the Vietnam War. They figure out that, hey, Deveridge figured out a way to control the monsters of the psionic thing, because they're talking about he just went from Hanoi and is making a beeline to Saigon.
Yeah, it's
he's
Saigon.
not doing
one of the best things about that is you start to see his personal relationship with Godzilla that he sees, like
Yeah.
his one-sided personal relationship with Godzilla. He's just like, Godzilla's never acted like this before. It's so weird.
Uh-huh.
Like he's treating him like a
Yeah.
friend
Yeah.
and or a pet. It's like do you know?
This
anything?
isn't- this
'cause
isn't like
they'd
Zilla.
they'd learned his pattern,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden it wasn't the same
Yeah.
for the first time in years.
Yeah.
And then they unleash him. And Otis pissed, because like we had him because they were hurting him with the masers, and then
with
the
weird
ge-
drills on it.
And then the
Mining lasers.
And then the general just unloads his payload because the Vietnam War, and Godzilla's just like, he's like flip him off. He's like, why'd you do that? That's annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, Angus looks real cool.
He does.
All of the guys.
I,
look
I,
great.
I love how Stokoe draws these draws.
Space
these
Godzilla
monsters.
looks dope.
Space Godzilla
Space
looks so
Godzilla looks
good.
so kick-ass.
What I wish is I was looking at like old
You
clips.
brought another Godzilla.
I was looking at old clips of old Godzilla films, and when they're like battling somewhere and the smoke is coming in and everything, it's very much like a blue sky, green trees, buildings, and gray smoke.
Yeah.
And I love like this orange sunsetty,
Yeah.
fiery smoke that comes up around them. It really makes all these colors very vibrant and poppy.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of it's just as the way that he does his art, but a lot of like the smoke and like the building debris, it looks like blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's super striking. And like every image, it looks like just like a blood
Yeah.
tsunami everywhere.
Yeah.
The depiction, I noticed it this time, but the depiction of the destruction it's like, this is devastating.
Stokoe
this is horrible.
Does detail like almost better than anyone. Like him and Jeff
Yeah.
Darrow are the guys who like do so much detail. Every single scale is on.
insane.
Yeah.
It's insane how much detail
He draws thousands of blocks on a city street.
Especially the book where issue 3 where it takes place in Ghana, Africa. That's another thing I love about this book. It doesn't just take place in Asia or the United States. It takes place in Africa,
It's everywhere,
in
yeah,
India.
yeah.
It's all over the world.
Yeah, it's a good looking book.
Marty, any other thoughts about this from what you read?
This is my first Godzilla, and I really enjoyed it.
You'll
Cool.
never forget your first Godzilla.
That's what
This
they,
is your first Godzilla comic,
that's what they
yeah.
say.
not your first Godzilla film.
No, that was what was that? The U.S. one? Was
The
that?
1998.
1998 Godzilla.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like this book a lot. I'm so glad you guys liked it.
Yeah, it's
This
cool.
book is great. Makes me jonesed for Godzilla King of the Monsters coming out next
Yeah.
week.
Anything else you guys want to add, or should we get out of here?
It's a great comic.
Yeah.
All right, so Sparks, it's your turn next week.
I guess. Is that what we're doing? Yeah. Yes.
Let's figure it out now.
I don't know.
Let's do it now.
It's not that hard, guys. Just decide.
No. What we were talking about is
No, I know.
if we were going to have the book be
Well, it's right there. Mine is.
Yeah. No. If we were going to have this book be not my choice, but just us doing it
Just a choice.
for the film.
We've already done 2 Godzilla books. Why not do another one?
So we're doing Godzilla Aftershock.
Yeah. So Godzilla Aftershock is it's out now. It is the prequel to the new movie Godzilla King of the Monsters.
It's a sequel to 2014's Godzilla.
It is.
Yes.
There we go.
So check that out.
All
right,
you're gonna
then.
have to. It's for the podcast.
All right, then that'll do it for us.
Heck yeah.
This week. Just so you guys know, there is more Fake Nerd podcasts coming out this week. We are doing a review special of Aladdin,
Ooh.
Disney's latest animated retellings, what they call
Fabulous he.
them. Yeah.
There will be no Fake Nerds Watch this week, obviously, because Game of Thrones is over, and
Sure
we are
is.
waiting for Swamp Thing.
Next week.
But we will be dropping a Basement Arcade and a Basement Arcade special
Yep.
this week. Okay,
Cool. Very cool. And next week we will be reviewing Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Bing bong.
Yeah.
Very excited. Can't wait.
We're gonna have to.
All right. So, in the link in the description, you will see a link to the Funko affiliate link. Click on that link. Shop as you normally would. Check out Use promo code SHOP10 for 10% off your purchase. We get a kickback somehow. Check out Paid Media, paidmedia.net. We are part of the Paid Media Network, and you can find them. You can find such shows as Do Go On. Nope. I almost said what you did. Beg to Differ. Let's Get Contextual. I just listened to an episode of Let's Get Contextual where they blasted me before liking The Incredible Hulk. So
Damn.
I'm not upset at all.
Hey, man. We can like The Incredible Hulk if you want.
Patreon. We have a Patreon link in the description. TeePublic link in the description. Buy some shirts. Buy some merch. We have some great merch. I bought a lot of our merchandise because there's apparently a sale at TeePublic like every fucking week. Damn it. I did it too. Whatever.
No one's going to know.
Bleep, bleep.
Thank you to everyone who listens. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you to people like Marty and Sam here. Maybe if you guys listen long enough, you'll be on the show too. Who knows?
Anything can happen.
It's true. Thank you to Jeremy Vellucci, who does our theme song and segment intros. Suburban Proctologist is not yet back online, but it will be soon. We're working on that now.
Yeah.
But you can find him at Jeremy Vellucci Keyboards. And you support Suburban Proctologist if you like, still with at Facebook.com/Suburban Proctologist Official or Instagram at SubProcPodcast. Mike Matola, thank you so much for our logo. Oh, I forgot to mention Mike Matola, we just locked down a date, so he will be on the show in a couple of weeks.
Hooray!
Ken Knapsack, don't forget, guys, Ken Knapsack, 2 weeks from now. Cannot wait for that.
Whoopee!
Cannot wait for that.
This is pod racing.
You can find Mike Matola at Mike Matola on Instagram and Twitter. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all at Fake Nerd Podcast, fakenerdguys@gmail.com if you'd like to get in touch with us personally. I'm at B2 McClure on Instagram and Twitter. Sparks, where are you?
Sparks Witty on Instagram, SPARKZ Witty.
Ben, where are you?
BenMagnet27 on Instagram and Twitter.
Ryan, where are you?
Vera Farmiga plays Dr. Emma Russell, and she's described her character as being a DJ for the monsters. She has figured out a way to communicate with the monsters. I'm at DJ Tony Snark at everything.
And if our listeners wanted to follow you guys, Marty and Sam, where can they find you?
You can't.
Okay.
Good answer.
Didn't you used to have a Twitter account?
Okay.
Sam, can they find you?
It's just pictures of my kids, but it's at
Closer.
Sam. It's at Sam _ Frankie _ Sully.
All right, then.
Kid love.
Subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, rate and review wherever you get us. We greatly appreciate it. And YouTube. Find our YouTube. The YouTube link is in the description also. Thank you for reminding me. It is in the description.
Or go to
Click on that.
YouTube and type in Fake Nerd Podcast.
It's all there.
It's all there.
As I was saying, rate and review wherever you get us. We greatly appreciate it. Until next week, guys.
Is this Brightburn?
Stay fake nerds.